Bam. We're going to be playing a really interesting game right now. This is the second game in a series, the sequel. It just came out very recently. And this is a game called Milk Outside a Bag of Milk, Outside a Bag of Milk. It is the sequel to a game called Milk Inside a Bag of Milk, Inside a Bag of Milk. So, warnings right away. This game is directly about severe mental illness. If you're watching this on YouTube, you may want to check out the previous playthrough I have of this. Milk Inside a Bag of Milk, Inside a Bag of Milk. But for those who are joining me on Twitch right now, I'll just sum it up real fast. Basically, the first game consists of us playing this girl. Actually, we're not technically playing the girl. We're playing a voice in her head talking to her. And the goal of this girl is to go to the store and bring back a bag of milk before the store closes. And you play an inner voice helping her get through this. And the world... Here, let's open this up. The world is entirely surreal. It is really unsettling. And you basically can choose to play a voice that calls her an idiot and a loser and that she won't be successful. And if she does, you'll drive her into some sort of internal conflict that ends the game. Or you can try to help her, but you also can't acknowledge her mental state, or else that will end it too. So you're simultaneously trying to be supportive, but also in denial. She reveals that there was a trauma where her dad jumped off a balcony and died. And it ends with you succeeding and returning home and encountering her mom, who is incredibly, incredibly unsettling. And we have no clue if the mom is actually, like, abusive or what, or if this is through the girl's perception. Clearly, the whole point of this game is that this girl's perception of the world is not really accurate to how it is. Everything feels like a threat. When she almost walks into a car, she sees it as a bear rampaging at her. And additionally, it is probably... We're probably looking at a schizophrenia situation, but it could be something else. I don't really know. But she also talks about how when she walks through the world, she basically sees these really scary things. But she says that the people she encounters are more scared of her than she is of them. There's that kind of illusion. So definitely this is a very psychological game. So, you guys are caught up. The warnings are out of the way. Apparently, this game takes place immediately after the last game ended. So, without further ado, here's Milk Outside a Bag of Milk, Outside a Bag of Milk. This game contains flashing images and touches on heavy topics. Take care. Let me know if I need to adjust the volume, by the way. Once it starts. Counting her steps. I think I do need to turn the volume down a little. The store is closing soon. Wow, this animation is so nice. Hello, can I... It won't take much time. What do you see? Are you sure? Anyways, it's Yes, Mom? Okay. I'll adjust the volume down slightly. Wow, the animation looks way nicer. Oh my god. Okay. Let's see. Can you guys see? You can. New game. I'm walking to my room, trying not to look around. Playful shadows dance around me, here and there. They dash all over the walls, the ceiling. One of those shadows whizzes past me, touching my face ever so slightly. I smile and continue walking, paying it no mind. Sometimes it's so easy to lose self-control and track of time, spinning in a joyful dance. But I'm in a bit of a hurry. Here, Mom told me to go to bed. I walk past the kitchen on the way to my room. The door is shut, but I can still feel the chilling air coming from the other side. The first thought is that there's a living corpse blowing into the keyhole, laughing mockingly. Ah ha ha, that's so silly. I'm absolutely sure we have no corpses in our kitchen. I know for sure that we've never had any corpses in our kitchen. I'm absolutely sure that. I break into a run and dash towards the closed door, the shadows intensifying their chaotic dance. Are they trying to stop me or calm me down? I don't know. It doesn't matter right now. Don't you get it? I wave my hands around as I run, trying to chase away my annoying pursuers. But then I suddenly realize that I won't be able to stop in time. I've got no other choice but to break the door now. If there's somebody inside, I'll surely scare them to death. But wait, how can I scare to death someone who's already dead? What if it actually revives them? No, no, no. I don't want that. What do I do? I couldn't fully complete my thought when my shoulder hit the door and it flew open. As I expected, there was no living corpse inside, but there was a bag of milk I bought today, sitting right in the middle of the table, watching me with its unblinking eyes. I stare back. Nothing happens. Although, what exactly did I expect? Gratitude? Have I done something that warranted it? A bag of milk probably doesn't care whether it's on the shelf, in a store, or the table in my mom's kitchen. On the other hand, nobody would drink milk inside the store, which means I took it from the safest place in the world and into the scary unknown. I'm so sorry, you poor thing. I turn away in shame and leave the room in a hurry. I only bring others trouble. I walk toward my room through a narrow corridor. Is that her mom? I meet a familiar, formless creature at the door. It locks me in its clutches and starts sniffing every inch of my body like a hungry dog. I'm not struggling. I know it's useless. I just stay silent and endure its tight grip that stops me from moving. After sniffing me from head to toe, the creature holds out its ugly paws, bearing a single claw thin and sharp like a blade. Again, I stare questioningly into the monster's bottomless eye sockets. Don't move. The creature squeezes my hands until my veins start bulging, and I just keep staring into the black cavities where its eyes should be, ignoring all pain. I've promised so many times. Stay put. The moment it says that, its claw pierces my arm. I don't feel anything other than the barely discernible crawling under my skin and the ring of tightly sprung sinews. But then the claw injects its venom into me. It hurts. A white veil appears in front of my eyes. My fingers cramp and start twitching frantically. I lose control over my body and slowly slide to the floor, just like last time, but why do I feel so hot? I feel my blood boiling up. Strong shivers run through my body, paralyzing every single cell, while my veins and arteries heat up, almost bursting from that pressure. I try screaming, but instead of producing words, I vomit thick, milky foam. The creature notices it and throws itself at me in anger, grabbing me by my throat while keeping the poisonous claw inside my arm. Kill me, kill me. Hysterical screams resound through the corridor. In a fit of madness, the creature starts scratching my neck. Bright splashes fly everywhere, hitting the walls with a loud sound. I try to imprint where every drop fell in my memory so I could gather them all later. I need to remember. I need... A new wave of pain washes over me. Everything turns pitch black in an instant. Say it. I'll never drink milk ever again. Say it. I'll never drink milk ever again. Say it again. I'll never drink milk ever again. I'll never drink milk ever again. I finally get to my room. I'm so tired of all this fuss. Thankfully, I still feel comfy and warm inside my room. Even the weird sounds coming from the outside don't make me anxious at all. Mom told me to go to bed, so I need to perform all the needed preparations. I've washed my face, and now I'm standing in front of the mirror with a toothbrush in my mouth. I look at my reflection. It shows absolutely no desire to sleep. Yeah, I get how you feel. There was a time when the last minutes before I sleep were my favorite time of the day. I loved anticipating the inevitable moment when the reality and the dream world would clash. I woke up for that moment's sake, lived through the day for it. My biggest dream was to sleep all day long. It would have been so cool. The dreams always slowly but surely slipped away. Man, I can tell already that this game is going to be a hard playthrough. Oh my gosh, it is very emotionally heavy. As if somebody fished them out of my head, one after another, until nothing was left. And now I have to sleep again, even though I don't feel any need for it. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one, guys. After finishing with my face, I usually reach out for my pills. It's funny, but I have no idea how they work separately since I always swallow them as a bunch without thinking. Now I want to have a better look at it, to twirl it between my fingers, to chew on it. I'd do anything to stall for just a little bit more time. A smooth, protruded red capsule is looking at me. It's covered in a murky, semi-transparent film, but I can still discern its contents. So what do we have inside you? I gently press on the capsule from both sides, and to my surprise, it turns out to be soft and squishy. I push harder, and the capsule pops. Sticky, bright red liquid pours out. Filthy, filthy. The pill flies straight into the waste bin, and as I start rigorously washing my hands. No, there's no way I'm drinking that. Next was a flat pill of the same blood red color. There were some letters printed on it. Oh, I get it. This is the medicine that makes me really sleepy, but it's not the type of sleep I want. That's not it at all. It's fake. No, no, no. I don't even want to look at it. The pill flies into the waste bin as well. The next half hour goes by in a similar fashion. I study every pill from all sides, and then find a reason not to swallow it. I invent my own medicine instead, and enjoy swallowing them one after another, letting myself drown in their healing effects. Hey, my neck doesn't hurt anymore. Hey, my hand doesn't hurt anymore. Hey, my head doesn't hurt anymore. Hey, my heart doesn't hurt anymore. Hey, my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. Hey, my eyes don't hurt anymore. How come I didn't think of this earlier? This is so simple. I need to brag about it to someone right away. But not to my mom. She'll just scold me. And she's sure I'm already sleeping anyway. I don't want to disturb her without reason. I'll think of something myself. Besides, I just really want some small talk. I wonder, who's going to be my conversation partner? Hey. It's us. We've entered the scene. Hey, long time no see. So as you can see, we can be a mean inner voice or we can be a nicer one, right? Why does your voice sound so grim? Naturally, I've read the manual. Judging by the pictures, the overdose side effects are the usual headaches, dizziness, exhaustion. Basically, nothing I can't handle myself. After all, now I know how to do it. You didn't reply. Aren't you even a little bit happy? Not even the slightest bit? I'm pretty exhausted after today. Well, I guess you are too. That's not true. You need to go to bed. No, you've been in control for way too long already. It's my turn now, alright? I'll just stay silent until the medicine's effects wear off. How about that? Hey, you can't do that. You need to do your best to make me feel better. That's exactly what I'm doing. What a bully. Actually, why am I even worried about this? In reality, I don't need you at all. I'm so energetic, and I feel great, which means I can do anything, and you can only watch and agonize over your uselessness. I can imagine how angry you are right now. What made you so happy all of a sudden? And why would I be sad? Remember yourself a couple hours ago. I don't know what you mean. Stop lying. Nuh-uh, I still don't understand. Whatever, unlike you, I won't forget that pathetic, snotty girl for a long time. Wow. She just whines and whines all the time. Don't even try ruining my mood. I want to have fun while we're together, all right? So you're the one calling the shots now? Yeah. Well, let's see how long you can last. We'll see, yeah. Am I really that pathetic? Say something. I can feel tears streaming down my cheeks, hanging from my chin, and then falling on my clothes, burning holes in them. That was fast, but not unexpected. Hey, at least I tried. Go wash your face, then we'll decide what to do with you. I think these games have a really kind of innovative, interesting use of the visual novel medium. Really interesting that we don't have any agency over a character. We're just... It's taking advantage of the medium by making the agency of just a voice in her head that she is not in control of, but we're not in total control of the voice either. I'm in front of a mirror again. I keep staring at my reflection, trying not to get distracted by the sneery looks the walls are giving me, trying not to drown in their giggling. But then me in the mirror also shows me a creepy smile, bares her teeth at me. I shut my eyes, but that doesn't help. It wouldn't have helped, even if I sunk through the floor. I start counting in my mind. 2 squared, 2 by 2 squared, a squared squared, a square pyramid squared, a pyramidal structure cubed, a pyramidal structure hypercubed. I feel better. But my head is splitting apart now. One other interesting thing about this game compared to the first one is apparently this game has random events that occur with different levels of rarity. And so this game will have multiple playthroughs that play out differently based on what you'll see. How do you feel? You're mocking me, right? I'm obligated to ask you this at least a couple times per session. A session, huh? You don't like that word. I'm fine. No, you're not. Don't know why, but I thought I'd be able to take control. I was almost ready to. I was sure I'd be able to change something after all. I was able to buy milk, you know? Yeah. You ought to know how challenging it was. Is that why you threw away the medicine? What a stupid decision, right? Oh god, what do we do here? Undoubtedly. Moreover, it's dangerous. I know. And you keep pushing me. Then why do you do that? I felt like I'd be able to fight it on my own. It's true, the pain subsided for a bit, at that time. But now I feel it triple in force. It hurts so bad. You know what to do. Dejected, I reach out for the shelf with my medicine. I swallow the pills one after another, chasing away the unpleasant visions that keep floating up in my memory. And yet, my mind still draws a terrifying picture. Lumps of coagulated blood in transparent coating travel down my esophagus, scratching its soft walls, leaving behind furrows. I shake my head violently. I don't care if it makes me feel dizzy or worsens my pain. I just don't want to think about something so repulsive. You still haven't changed. What do you mean? Oh my gosh, Pickle, this game is heavy. This game is heavy already. It's going to be a rough one. You're afraid of being alone. This worries you much more than pain. Yeah, I guess. I toss the last pill into the air and catch it with my mouth. I lie on the floor. I look at the ceiling. I can clearly hear water running in the metal pipes up there. I hear the cracking of concrete blocks that will someday surely fall on my head. But I'm not afraid of that at all. I can't imagine my death coming from above. Rather, it's rearing its claws from somewhere below, waiting for me to lose focus. Do you want to talk about it? No, I've had enough of talking. What do you want then? I just want to lie down for a bit. I carefully extract thoughts that are yet to be fully formed from my head and lay them out on the ceiling in orderly rows. Now it's my corkboard. That perspective is awesome. In hopes of seeing the whole picture, I switch from one place to another, pile them on top of each other, scatter them around, and in the end, I throw them off with my hand, annoyed, and start over. Can't do it. You can always imagine your thoughts as something small and swarming like cockroaches. Oh, Jesus. Ew, I hate cockroaches. Should I make them fireflies? I don't mind either way. I don't even have time to blink before my thoughts, they're fireflies now, start whirling all over the ceiling of their own accord, forming whimsical patterns. I could only observe them and wait for the right moment. It's just, that moment doesn't come. The mocking sounds of flapping wings coming from the ceiling make me start losing my patience. Enough, I hate you. spring to my feet and scream at the top of my lungs. The fireflies scatter. Good job. Now start over. No way. Unstable behavior makes you look bad. I don't give a damn. So that doesn't bother you? Should it? No? A lot of people act like this. Really? There's nothing shameful about snapping at someone, if you have a reason for that. You did have a reason, didn't you? You'll surely get better, believe me. And now, start over. Eheheh. You're at it again. What do you mean? Never mind. And I've changed my mind anyway. Please don't stay silent for this long anymore. I'm having a hard time without your help. Fine. I raise my eyes to look at the ceiling once more. Sadly, all my fireflies seem to be hiding somewhere. I need to find them. Forget about them and go to bed. No, you don't get it. If I'm thinking about something, I need to finish my thoughts or else. I glance around the room. There are too many places for a creature as small as a firefly to hide here. They can be anywhere. Yeah, the whole name of the game is basically kind of about she gets stuck in these pyramidal constructs of language. So she'll be like, you know, like, oh, I've this milk is I have a glass of milk. Oh, the milk is outside of the bag of milk, which I bought, which is it's outside of the bag of milk outside of a bag. Well, it's outside of a bag of milk outside of a bag of milk, and she'll like get stuck in these loops. They can be anywhere. Suddenly, I hear a deafening rumble. The clock just hit midnight. It's so late already. But I can't go to bed right now. Will you help me? Please? Tell me you will help me. Come on, stop bullying me. You promised to talk to me. What were you thinking while lying on the floor? What do you mean? You should know it better than anyone else. That's the thing. I have no idea. This is weird. Will you tell me? I roll my sleeves and start rubbing my eyes intensely. They're so itchy. Why are you crying? My eyes are itchy. And they modulate the, like, Animal Crossing noise to make it even more disorienting. My eyes are itchy. Did you drink milk, or did he bring milk? Did you drink milk? I wonder. If I tear out all my eyelashes, one after another, will my eyes stop itching? I wonder. If I tear out all my eyelashes, one after another, all my eyelashes, one after another. If I tear out all my eyelashes, one after another. What have you done? I need to gather the glass, and then I need to have a bath, and then... Here, drink some milk. No! I stand in the middle of the room, my mouth agape, gasping for air. I think I just experienced death. I don't know any other way to explain what just happened. I just got the achievement First Death, by the way. I don't know any other way to explain what just happened. Well, that was surely something. Will you tell me or not? About what? Let's look for the fireflies instead. You're acting weird. Help me instead of running your mouth. I've already had enough adventures before bed. I need to gather my thoughts quickly and go to bed. And my thoughts are hiding from me. To be honest, I have no idea where to look for them. Me neither. I guess we'll have to tear the whole place apart. No, 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 and no. If I make even the smallest of messes here, I'll feel really bad. All of the things should stay in their place, and that's it. I really, 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 really like how they changed the art style in this game. Like, the first game was way more surreal, and I feel like the first game plays as a really good intro to this game. Is kind of how I'm seeing it. All the things should stay in their places, and that's it. I feel like the first game feels like it's built a lot more on... The first game feels like it's really built on you being lost and not understanding what's happening. And it puts you in her head in a way where you're kind of thrown to the wolves. I feel like with this game, it's a lot more like trying to understand her in a way. Even though it's like clearly there's a big barrier there. It's very different. But I also find this one is a lot more emotional. All the things should stay in their places, and that's it. Why? Are you trying to come up with a reason right now? Or you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Okay. I don't, and I won't. All right, then. So, we need to find a bunch of tiny insects inside a mountain of junk without moving anything, even an inch. Yeah. My, oh my. I have an idea. Last time, becoming a visual novel character helped me achieve my goal. Now I want to become a point-and-click adventure game character. You know? Those games have moments when you just look at different objects and something inevitably happens. It sounds so fun. Then what about the things you use regularly? Do you refuse to touch them as well? Would make it even more interesting. This is so childish. And want to know what's the best part? You'll be the one doing it. Oh no. Oh yes. I start panicking as soon as I get in a multiple choice situation. I'll just keep changing my mind and end up crying and running away. Do you want that to happen? You're such a handful. You've already proven that you're able to make decisions. Why not continue on that road? Or do what you want. I go to the middle of the room and look around. Where would I hide if I were a tiny firefly? Oh, this is so thrilling. My heart gets warmer from the pleasant anticipation. Hey. What? Look down. I look down. After a moment, a small ball of light and warmth crawls out from under my sweater. Wowee. There's smoke coming from your clothes. Whatever. I carefully grab the firefly. It's pleasantly scorching to the touch. I put it on my shoulder. I'm sorry, little guy. Time has come. Time to come home now. As if it was an order, the firefly slowly drifts up, circles around my head for a bit, and then flies into my ear with the speed of a bullet. It tickles. One down, let's look for the others. Yeah. So part of the reason you'll see that I don't really, like, push back is because of my experience with the first game, where anytime I pushed back, that basically led to a psychotic break. Okay. Ooh. Hey, Tord, how's it going? Just so you know, there's not going to be any roleplay today. Today's a bit of a special stream, so we're going to keep it, you know. Here, let's click this. Let's see what happens. We can't. I get close to the waste bin and look inside it with curiosity. Pill packaging, notebook pages, and other garbage. Boring. Yeah, happy early New Year. There's nothing here. Indeed, no self-respecting firefly would hide in a heap of garbage. Can't disagree with you here. I look at my laptop. I haven't touched it for years, so it's covered with a layer of dust as thick as my finger. A bizarre item. I fear it. Why? It's a long and boring story. Wonderful. Tell me about it. I insist. I don't remember how it appeared in my room. One of my parents probably brought it here because they couldn't find a better place for it. They didn't prohibit me from using it, On the other hand, they encouraged me to do so. Sure, I've spent my whole days in front of the screen. Games, drawing, engineering, calculator, 3D modeling. So much fun stuff to do. You had amusing hobbies. Yeah, I did. Before entering the web. Huh? Imagine this. You're a hamster that lives underground. You have everything for comfortable living. Did you imagine? As always, your analogies are spot on. Okay, I imagined. All right. So you're a hamster that lives underground. You have everything for comfortable living, okay? Okay. Wonderful. And here's the situation. You're a hamster that lives... Okay, I got it. Do you want to talk about something else? Yeah. Fine. Suddenly, a firefly slowly crawls out of the laptop's vent grill. I reach for it. It gets on top of my palm, blinking all the while. I think it's trying to say something. I can see that myself. If only I knew what... Looks like a cipher. Don't you want to crack it? I changed my mind. I have absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no desire to find out what it says. The firefly stops glowing for a moment after that. Then it starts glowing again, as if it's coming back to its senses. For some time, it thinks about the further course of actions. Then it flies up and dashes into my ear. Let's continue searching. I doubt it. All the compartments are locked. What if... I don't even want to think about what's inside. Who knows what I'll end up imagining. This is my sketchbook. Half of the pages are blank, which means it'll still be good for a couple of years. You draw that rarely. Why? Isn't that obvious? If I run out of pages, I'll have to buy a new sketchbook. I can't get to the stationery store on foot. I'll have to take the bus. Do you even realize what kind of nightmare that can turn into? Well, maybe you can ask your mom to buy you one. Buy what? Ask whom? Can you even form coherent sentences? Don't play dumb. Ask your mom to buy you a notebook instead. Instead? So you want me to perform a string of actions, but you're also telling me to do one instead of another. Then how would I decide which action to take? You're so dyslexic. Man, you're a tough case. You lack empathy. Is that my fault? I get closer to the sketchbook, stepping over the wires, the sleeping bag, the cracks in the laminate, and the window's reflection. The sketchbook is lying on the stool. From my height, it seems like the stool is missing 2 legs. I squat and look again. All the legs are in place. Will I be able to think of an interesting allegory? Oh, let's not go there, okay? I stand up and study the sketchbook from inches away. Its pages are pure white. The last drawing is buried on it. The last drawing is buried on the previous page, the way it should be. Too bad. I'd love to see it. Maybe next time. A sudden gust of chilly wind breaks into the room and makes the pages rustle. Oh no! I shut my eyes. A distinctive sound of pages turning echoes. With my headache in my head, I know what's going to happen. The rustling has stopped, even though the wind is still howling from every direction. It can only mean one thing. The notebook is open on the first page. If I wait a little longer, the wind will close it. I won't have to look. If I wait a little longer. If I wait. Open your eyes. No. It's okay, just do it. No way. I know you're lying. Calm down. No. Calm down. No. Calm down. No. Calm down. No. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Fine. I open my eyes with utmost caution. The notebook is still open in the middle. No drawings, nothing. The pages are still pure white. Did I imagine it? I don't know, did you? You're the smart one here, you tell me. Next time, don't close your eyes. What did you... I couldn't finish speaking because the pages started moving again. Don't close your eyes. Don't make me do it, I'm scared. Trust me. The rustling grows louder, the pages lift up. I can almost see the outlines of drawings on previous pages. No way. Everything that is in the past should stay in the past. You couldn't convince me, that's it, I'm closing my eyes. Look there. A barely visible light seeps through the pages. With every new gust, it becomes brighter and brighter. A firefly. The wind immediately stops. For a moment, the world sinks into perfect silence. But only for a moment. The buzz that has always been haunting me fills the surroundings, but it doesn't matter now. Goodness gracious, little boy. You made me so scared. The firefly blinks, flies up, and enters my ear, buzzing loudly all the way. It spends some time looking for the perfect spot in my head. But then its buzzing dies down. Phew. Are you okay? We're running short on time, so let's continue searching. What is that? Are those just like... Oh, are those packages? Your usual notebook pages, glued to the wall with duct tape. Numbers are drawn on them. It's the only kind of information I can take in without trouble. Dosage and side effects? Yeah. I thought you know them by heart. Yeah. This is not your handwriting, isn't it? Of course it's not. Shaky, broken lines, ugly numbers. It's not writing. It's more like claw marks. Don't forget to thank your mom. I don't need your advice. My scream makes the pages rustle relentlessly. After a moment, a firefly appears from underneath one of them. After looking around in a businesslike manner, it takes off into a businesslike flight and ends up entering my businesslike ear. Hey, let's continue searching. I look at the mound of pills, and it makes me feel dizzy. I don't want to think about it. I don't. What's wrong? I've almost skipped my dose for today. How reckless, I could have died. Hey, calm down. You've already fixed that. Yes, because you ordered me to. Things could have been much worse. Yeah. I heave a deep sigh and come closer and extend my hand. Wow, it's warm. The moment those words leave my lips, one of the bottles overturns, pills rain down from it, and along with them, a firefly, hooray! After circling above my head a couple of times, it finally lands in my palm. The firefly rushes up my arm, and upon reaching my shoulder, it crawls straight into my ear. My mind becomes a bit clearer. I turn my eyes towards an inconspicuous shelf near the mirror. There's a glass with a toothbrush sitting on it, and a small towel hanging nearby. What a wonderful sight. My fireflies are smart and good. They would never get in there. They know about personal hygiene. Okay, let's look somewhere else. I look up towards a very high place under my ceiling. I can hear a countless number of small legs marching inside the AC unit. Oh, well. What happened? Fireflies can't be friends with cockroaches. We'd better look somewhere else. Why would cockroaches be in there? Have you forgotten? You were the one who told me to think of my thoughts as cockroaches. Yes, but they became fireflies afterwards, but cockroaches don't disappear just like that. So they occupied this place. Do you understand now? I do. What are those? Ah, those. Those are the photos of my best memories. But they're blank. I stared at them so intensely that I burned them with my eyes. Now they're just covering the cracks in the walls. Cracks. Forget it. Are we continuing the search or what? Okay, we are. What's funny about that? I imagine myself being a firefly that is looking straight at a giant fan. And I'd be so jealous. The only thing preventing it from flying is a cage it's locked in, and the cable. It's like an inmate, if you think about it. It's so sad. Yeah. Let's continue searching. I look down at my school bag, worn down and silly, is almost screaming of its own uselessness. From another angle, it looks like a full belly. Its contents are also regurgitating, decomposing, and turning into a sticky, mushy substance. What a cool image. I need to remember this. It's totally not cool. Tell me what's inside your bag instead. Nothing special. Mostly just all sorts of books. I've taken out all the pens and notebooks out of there. And I'm not interested in anything else. You used to go to school, didn't you? Yeah, I did. I had a blast all the way. Are you sure you understood my question? Do you think everything in my life should be doom and gloom? Well, you're wrong. All right, all right. What did you like the most there? Well, the rooms were really bright, not like the ones at home. That's it? Don't rush me. Let me remember. Well, the beds were also soft, and the food was nice. By the way, I attended all the classes, and the others always skipped. The beds were comfortable. They probably got told off so hard. I smiled gently, absorbed in warm memories. So everyone else skipped the classes and there were beds? You never graduated, though. Yeah. Do you remember your last day there? It was a normal day. Dad picked me up earlier than usual. He told me that I'm already too old for the school curriculum. I also realized that some time ago. The tasks were way too easy. Then we got into the car and went home. Mom greeted us there. We had dinner and went to our rooms. So that's the day that the dad died, I'm guessing. And then what happened then? I don't remember. Does it even matter? Tell me about it again. Is your memory that bad? Please. Okay, fine. That day, Dad picked me up from school earlier, explaining to me that I need to grow up. It's not like I could completely grasp what he meant. Either way, I didn't resist. We got into the car and went home. Mom greeted us there, we had dinner together, and went to our separate rooms. Satisfied? Tell me about it again. Dad dragged me out of the school building while I was scratching and biting. The teachers didn't interfere. The scene was ordinary for them. Who knows what the little brat would have done. Then he pushed me into the car, and we drove home in complete silence. Mom greeted us there. We had dinner together and went to our separate rooms. Please, let's not discuss this further. No, you'll tell me again. Dad bought milk on the way home. Again. I hate milk so much. Mom was not home. Again. I hate Mom so much. What happened next? Suddenly, I feel someone's eyes on my back, knowing that these moments should never, ever be ignored. I turn around. But there's nothing there. What happened next? Everything that happened next happened after something that led to everything that happened after what had happened. I look at my bag again, light pouring into the room, through the window glints on the metal parts. And there's also a shadow underneath it, which means it's real, sadly. Wow, I'm going to need to read that one again to process this. I look at my bag again, light pouring into the room through the window glints on the metal parts. And there's also a shadow underneath it, which makes it real, sadly. Oh, whatever. I don't care anyway. I almost end up kicking the bag in a feat of sudden anger, but I managed to stop myself in the nick of time. If I move it an inch, the whole picture will collapse and I'll go blind. It has already happened countless times. What do you mean you'll go blind? I've spent months memorizing the location of every item in my room. That's why I can see them so clearly and vividly. You won't get it. Look at your feet. I look down and see that a small insect is crawling towards me from my bag. It's barely glowing, and I can't even fly. I guess this firefly is really tired. I bend down to pick it up. The firefly starts glowing brightly as soon as I touch it, and then it flies up. There you go, boy. Good job. After doing a victory lap around the room, it flies towards me with high speed. I shut my eyes, anticipating the firefly will enter my ear. That's exactly what happens. After it gets inside, it buzzes for a little while, then goes silent. This one is kind of sad. I wonder why. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it's no longer alone. Sure, let's continue searching. So, I presume that... I presume that her father died that day, I'm guessing. And one of her last memories is him picking up milk. Which seems like that might explain a bit of why she has very weird connections around that. Okay. The umbrella emanates a faint sense of coolness. No wonder. It's the only thing that defends me against the thunderclouds that gather under my ceiling. It's such a blessing that it can do it without my help. Still, a firefly won't hide in a place like that. It will catch a cold and be unable to fly. You don't want to check it? Why? I'm sure we won't find anything there. I tilt my head backwards and almost fall over. The closet is hanging under the ceiling, at least 300 feet off the floor. Are you joking? Even though it's my room, not everything here is for me to use. Whatever. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care at all. Like, totally. And I'm definitely not worried. Not even the littlest bit. Not even a smidgen of that littlest bit. Not even for 1,000%. That's how much I don't care. Hey, I'm not even done telling you how much I don't care. From this moment on, I'm ignoring you. Oh, no you don't. Then act normal. Okay, we have the bed. I know we have some stuff on the top of the room. We have... Oh, yeah, the radio. We have that. We have that. And we have some stuff here. There's 3 different radios. Are you serious? What's wrong? Just think about it. Why would fireflies be attracted to light? I think they're quite self-sufficient already in that regard. Well, only if they'd purposely want to lower their self-esteem. It's not easy to get out of here. Right. Insects enjoy pollinating the flowers and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess. I get close to the flower shelf. I sniff around. The leaves... I sniff around. The leaves smell of dust and cardboard and death. You know those plants are long dead, right? I'm not sure a dead plant will be able to attract any insects. Well, we kind of don't have a choice here, you know? Still, you're right. Let's continue searching. Why don't you just throw them out? Weren't you listening to me at all? I think we're almost done. I look at the alarm clock. Time continues its unstoppable flow. It's so late. Are you tired? You bet I am. I let out a theatric yawn and hold out my arms to the sides. 1, 2. Then I raise them above my head. 3, 4. Maybe a little workout will help me freshen up. Good idea. Do you remember the exercises you've been taught? I think so. I take a hesitant stance. What was it? Heels together, toes apart? Whatever. I'll go with that. Count down 5 minutes. Fine. You have a clock right in front of you, though. I can't look at its hands for too long. At first, I feel like they start moving in the wrong direction, and then they disappear altogether. And then things always get messy. Last time I saw a pair of eyes on the clock face. And also, I used to hear voices back in the day. They pleaded for help, I think. What a mess. Truly a mess. It was a mess, right? A mess. Well, are you counting down? My God, finally. What do you mean? I was trying to get through to you for half an hour. Huh? Forget it. You see the firefly? No. Let's continue searching then. Okay, we have the bed. Anything else? Anything else at all? We have the radios. Anything else? Anything else at all? Okay, I think we just have the bed to check. This is my sleeping bag. It's soft and warm. I'm sure there's no living creature would be able to resist the temptation to spend a minute or two inside. They'd want to dig deep into it with a couple of favorite items, close their eyes, and then... Hey, did you fall asleep? Huh? I gently slapped my cheeks to return myself to my senses. It's already way past midnight. Usually I'd be sleeping like a log at this time, but right now I can't. Let's continue searching. Hey, maybe you'll find something inside. Nah, my thoughts don't have a feature of putting to sleep. Quite the contrary. They always cause insomnia, just like tonight. Okay. That one's still blocked. Okay. Okay. I think it's time. You found all the fireflies. Amazing. I guess I've managed to gather my thoughts, but something still worries me. On the other hand, I wasn't supposed to be happy anyway. Why not? If I lose something and then find it, it's just going back to the starting point. No changes at all. A zero sum. Unhappiness is always about being positive, right? You shouldn't think too much. It hurts you. I want to sleep. How about you get some fresh air before sleeping? What do you mean? Well, go to the balcony. Breathe in some air. Somehow those words triggered a panic attack in me. I subconsciously step away from the balcony. I don't think it's a good idea. Why? This may sound silly, but I feel like someone is watching me. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I can either say there's no way somebody cares about you that much, or I can say, all right, let's stay here. Yeah. What are you gonna do? What's with this silly question? I'm gonna sleep, of course. Hoping that tomorrow will only come after a year or a decade. Imagining myself to be outside of my mortal shell, but at the same time still being me, ridiculous. Like milk outside of a bag of milk, and yet... You don't have to talk out loud for me to understand that you're worried about me. I know that already. I also know that our time is running short. You won't take another pill. Of course not. In fact, I won't take it tomorrow either. And then the day after that. And never ever. That's a goodbye then? No. I have one more small favor to ask. A really, really small one. What is it? I blurted out way too much today. A lot of stuff I want to forget forever. I don't blame you, but was it really necessary? You'll see tomorrow. No, I wouldn't be able to sleep like this. Then what's the favor? I nervously scratch my wrists and bite on my lower lip. Wait a minute. You're afraid to tell me? Yes. I'm also scared that something bad might happen if I tell you. I'm also scared that when something bad happens, something way worse will happen. Stop, I get it already. Still, I won't leave you alone until you tell me. Bully. No, you. Locke. I crawl into my sleeping bag. The lower part of the room is very cold. I hurry to wrap myself in blankets, even though the electric heater is working hard to keep me warm. I'm sad because the dreams just won't come anymore. You won't believe me if I tell you how I dealt with it at first. Of course I'll believe you. I know, it was a joke. Well, anyway, I washed my face, brushed my teeth, lied down, started imagining that I'm watching a dream. I didn't sleep at all. Of course, I'd always look sleepy in the morning. After a week of insomnia, I started feeling weird and seeing things. Letters floating in the air, strange silhouettes that appeared in the most unexpected of places. Bulging eyes with trembling, pale pupils. It was scary, you know? Then one day, I almost died. I just collapsed in the middle of the room and couldn't move for a while. And then silhouettes, letters, and eyes were hanging over me and hissing. It was horrible. And well-deserved, I guess. It felt like I was caught in the biggest lie in the world. Yes, it felt exactly like that. After that, I stopped. But the silhouettes, letters, and eyes stayed here. I guess they like this place. They always follow in my wake, peeping at me. I'm kind of scared of them and can't even argue with them. But today, well, still too scared to tell me? Of course. They're still listening, you know? Use your hands. All right. I start chaotically twirling my fingers with enthusiasm, forming complex shapes. You want me to tell you a bedtime story? Shh. And I was trying so hard here. Don't you get it? They'll hear you. Relax. Nobody can hear you. So, what do you say? I'd be happy to, but I have no idea how to tell them. Oh, it's incredibly easy. Just talk about something without stopping. Sounds silly, but it's not. And meaningless. You don't know what you're talking about. I know enough to realize that we'll just end up wasting time. Let's focus on something actually important. Boring. Fine. Close your eyes. I wake up on a wooden bench. In front of me lies a narrow, dimly lit alley. An awfully familiar road. Where could I have seen it? And I just got an achievement called You Won't Get It. Finally. I hear a voice coming from the side. I turn around and see a boy with a weird expression on his face. You're late. Who are you? The boy blinks in bewilderment. We're not going anywhere like this. Try again. Then he takes a very deep breath. You are late. I stare at him confused. He stares back, also confused. Sorry? The boy nods, satisfied. See? Much better. Do you have a name? My name's Tresca. I give the brat an evaluating look. He's so young, yet already coming at me with questions like that. None of your business. And besides, will anyone tell me what I'm doing here? Hey, that's rude. It's not like there's somebody else here besides me. Haven't they told you anything? I know all there is to know, for one. About what? You're obligated to escort me to the store. Tresca says that and strikes a victory pose. No way I'm doing that. You do understand that refusal is futile. Well, aren't you full of yourself? This is the song from the first game, by the way. I'm serious. I'm not the one who decided that. Do you think I'm delighted with your company? He's weird, constantly shifting between happiness and sadness, loudness, silence. He's a wacko, and his name is stupid. Are we going or what? You can go, and I need to think. I'd be happy to, but I don't know the way. Tresca puts on a cunning smile. I bite my lower lip in frustration. I'll be honest with you, I don't like you. He simply bursts out laughing in reply. I do like you, though. Then he grabs my hand without hesitation. I don't even have time to retort. Lead the way. Our trip to the store went fine, if not for the fact that Tresca was walking way faster than me. On the other hand, at times, he stopped abruptly and went backwards, studying the ground underneath his feet. In the end, the trip took a lot longer than it should. After reaching the store's doors, we were greeted with a sign. We are closing in 20 minutes. Who had the bright idea to indicate their working hours in this way? They probably have special staff for this. Someone who runs to change the sign every 5 minutes. It's convenient. Are you joking? Yeah. You're so annoying. It's much better than being boring. How old are you, by the way? None of your business. What's your name? None of your business. I was ready to slap the living hell out of this brat, but a scary-looking man suddenly appeared behind the glass. He's holding a cardboard sign that says we're closing in 15 minutes. Let's go. What are you waiting for? Huh? Oh, yeah. After another round of going across the long row of canned products, we realize that we're lost. Can't believe you don't know where they sell milk. Maybe we should ask somebody for directions. Sure. Hey, wait up. Tresca lets go of my hand and walks confidently towards one of the few store's customers. That person is standing with their back to us, studying something on the shelf. Hello, can I can't hear neither the second part of his question, nor the reply he gets. But my good-for-nothing friend freezes in place. Looking the customer straight in the eye, I hurry towards them. So this section of the game is using a lot of the backgrounds and stuff from the first game. Is he yours? The customer talks to me. He speaks with disgust while wearing a scornful expression. If he's yours, please get him away from me. Yes, I'm sorry. I grab Tresca's hand and lead him away. He's still looking at the customer, his mouth ajar and eyes popped. He's also shaking. Only when we turn around the corner, Tresca calms down. What was that? I got so scared, he said, what? No, not again. Did he say oh? Suddenly, Tresca starts screaming like crazy. I cover his mouth with my hand. His face is burning. He's crying. Can you act normal? You don't understand. Of course I don't. I don't understand anything. Annoying other people is still wrong, though. This is something you don't understand, it seems. You're mean. Who, me? Tresca pushes me away and runs off. Drat. At the edge of my vision, I see the store's staff hanging a new sign on the door. There you are. I meet Tresca at the cash register. Before that, I managed to visit the milk department after finding out where it was. Hey, you, move. I hear an angry voice coming from the other side of the long queue that has formed after Tresca. I squeeze through towards him. What happened? The boy doesn't respond. He just looks at his feet and sniffs. The cashier towers over him. There's a bag of milk lying between them. Is he yours? Yes. Just leave him home next time. People in the queue nod in agreement. Pay for the goods, please. Yes, of course. Is this like... Is Tresca like a projection of her? And she is like taking the role of her mom or something? Yes, of course. And the waiting fee. What? You heard me. I did, but that's unheard of. Tresca starts giggling all of a sudden. And for the fact that your son is a retard too. But you heard me. You know what? In a fit of rage, I throw a banknote at the cashier of a much higher value than needed, even counting in all the stupid fees. Then grab the bag of milk and turn around on my heels. We're leaving, Tresca. We spend the whole trip back in silence. At some point, we end up turning right, towards a gas station. There, Tresca finally breaks his silence. Do you like ice cream? No. Okay. I look at the boy's face. A light flickers in his eyes for a brief moment and then goes out. Also, another interesting thing. So, Firstly, Triska is taking on the role that our character took in the first game. And so we're clearly taking, like, the mother or something right now. But also, if you look at the road or the sidewalk behind us, it's forming a pyramid. And a lot of this game references pyramidal structures. So I'm guessing that's it's, you know, intentionally supposed to look like a pyramid between them. A light flickers in his eyes for a brief moment and then goes out. You know, he turns away from the path and walks straight towards the highway with determination. I stare at his back, confused. It seems like you're not helping me at all. A new playful light flickers in Triska's eyes. And there's the O. That's the image that she's afraid of. Milk outside a bag of milk outside of a bag of milk. Huh. Let's see. So I guess we lost. I don't know if there's any winning to this, though. We got an ending. The bag of milk comes from her trying to go to the store. She basically tries to get herself to go to a store to bring milk home. But the whole first game is like you're an inner voice trying to talk her through that. What was the image at the end? Is that like the moon or something? Because she was in the first game, she was afraid of the letter O because that's the image that pops into her head. The end of this game is her looking at that image. I feel like the translation is a lot better in this game than the first one. It seemed like it was a lot more solid in this one, for sure. So as I mentioned, one of the differences in this game is that different events occur when you replay it. Okay, let's just see something real fast. We're going to look at achievements. So, try figuring this one out. You're annoying. You won't get it. You're not even trying. Good night. Let's see. What ones did we get? So we got the 4 most common ones. What are these other ones? Please forget it. Second death. Everything is fine. Are we friends? Let's continue. We can't. Let's take a different path. I'm walking to my room, trying not to look around. Okay, let's skip until we get to something new, I think. So the shadows are dashing around. Touching her, she's paying them no mind. She's in a hurry to go to bed. We walk past the kitchen. She feels like there's a corpse behind a door. Okay. It takes a while before our character actually appears. Okay. There's no living corpse inside, but there was a bag of milk that she bought. It's sitting there. She starts feeling guilt because she stole the... She basically took the milk from a safe spot because no one would possibly drink the milk in the store. But now she's exposed it to danger, so she's apologetic for this milk. She feels shame because she only brings people trouble. Okay. The mom appears. The mom is sniffing overlooking her arms again. I'm guessing she's having some like reaction. So it sounds like it says the mom stabs her with a long finger or something, which presumably is like, is she having like an allergic reaction and she's getting antihistamines or something? She's getting some syringe, presumably. Okay, don't drink milk. Okay. We're almost there. She's tired. She wants to sleep. She's throwing up all her pills one by one as she examines them and looks at the, like, she says, like, the blood is flowing out of the pills. So I guess they have some red. Although, she also said she forgot how to see other colors. Oh, is that an eye? I didn't even notice that before. In the first game, the only color in the game is red. I mean, pretty much this game, too. But she said that she just, like, one day she forgot how to see the other colors. Hey. Okay, we're here. We're now taking control. Okay. So let's look at something real fast. So the other achievements we have. I looked down. I'm guessing, is that pressuring her to look off the balcony? Second death. I don't know how to get these. Everything is fine. Let's see. It hasn't even been an hour, dummy. There you go, bullying me again. Aren't you even a little bit happy? Not even the slightest bit? No. Well, then I'm not happy either. You need to go to bed. No, you've been in control for way too long already. It's my turn now, all right? What about the side effects? Hey. You can't do that. You need to do your best to make me feel better. That's exactly what I'm doing. What a bully. So I'm going to skip through some of the stuff we've already seen. And I'll paraphrase. I don't need you, huh? This is the sequel to Milk Inside of a Bag of Milk Inside of a Bag of Milk. Do you have bagged milk in Quebec? Okay. I can imagine how angry you are. Yes, I'm beside myself. By the way, you're the one that's useless and pathetic. So we're being a mean voice this time right now. Don't even try ruining my mood. I want to have fun while we're together, all right? So you're the one calling the shots now? Yeah. Let's see how long you can last. We'll see, yeah. Am I really that pathetic? Say something. I can feel tears streaming down my cheeks, hanging from my chin, and then falling on my clothes, burning holes in them. That was fast, but not unexpected. Hey, at least I tried. Go, wash your face, then we'll decide what to do with you. Okay. So we just so you know, anyone who's popping in right now, we just did one full playthrough of this, got an ending. So we're now kind of, you know, blitzing through another playthrough. This game is pretty heavy. Bares her teeth. Okay. Quebec? No, Ontario, we use bagged milk. What did I say the first time? I forget what I said the first time. I think I said, how do you feel? Sorry for being rude. It's not your fault. It's never your fault. Fine. You can keep on blaming yourself, but don't overdo it. I don't know why, but I thought I'd be able to take control. I was almost ready to. I was sure I'd be able to change something, after all. I was able to buy milk, you know? Yeah, you ought to know how challenging it was. Is that why you threw away the medicine? What a stupid decision, right? Whatever it was your decision. Does it even matter? And what do you think? I can't be sure about anything. And you don't take me seriously anyway. Then why did you do that? Just felt like I'd be able to fight it on my own. It's true. The pain subsided for a bit at that time, but now I feel it triple in force. It hurts so bad. Just take your medicine already, or I'll stop talking to you. No, don't abandon me. Dejected, I reach out for the shelf with my medicine. I swallow the pills one after another, chasing away the unpleasant visions that keep floating up in my memory. And yet, my mind still draws a terrifying picture. Lumps of coagulated blood and transparent coating travel down my esophagus, scratching its soft walls, leaving behind furrows. I shake my head violently. I don't care if it makes me dizzy or worsens the pain. I just don't want to think about something so repulsive. You still haven't changed. What do you mean? You're afraid of being alone. This worries you much more than the pain. Yeah, I guess. I toss the last pill into the air and catch it with my mouth. Okay, are we about to enter adventure game mode? I wonder how we unlock the like disposed garbage or packages or whatever it is, if there's a way. Someday the ceiling is going to fall on my head, is what she's talking about. Okay. Do you want to talk about it? No, I've had enough of talking. So right now I'm just basically doing opposite answers from what we did the first time. What do you want then? I just want to lie down for a bit. Even if the ceiling is bound to collapse, it won't be today. Can you stay silent, please? I need to get my thoughts in order. It doesn't seem like the things we've done so far have had really any effect yet. I carefully extract thoughts that are yet to be fully formed from my head and lay them out on the ceiling in orderly rows. Now it's my corkboard. In hopes of seeing the whole picture, I switch them from one place to another, pile them on top of each other, scatter them around. In the end, I throw them off with my hand, annoyed, and start over. I can't do it. You can always imagine your thoughts as something small and swarming like cockroaches. I hate cockroaches, gonna make them fireflies. I don't mind either way. So it seems like up to this point, it's playing out exactly the same. And we've done all like opposite answers. I don't even have time to blink before my thoughts. They're fireflies now. Start whirling all over the ceiling of their own accord, forming whimsical patterns. You can only observe them and wait for the right moments. It's just, that moment doesn't come. The mocking sounds of flapping wings coming from the ceiling make me start losing my patience. Enough, I hate you. I spring to my feet and scream at the top of my lungs. The fireflies scatter. Good job, now start over. No way. Unstable behavior makes you look bad. I don't give a damn. So that doesn't bother you? Should I? Yes. And what do you want me to do then? I don't know, it's up to you. You're at it again. What do you mean? Never mind. And I've changed my mind anyway. Please don't stay silent for this long anymore. I'm having a hard time without your help. Hey, Cinnabunny. Fine. I raise my eyes to look at the ceiling once more. Sadly, all the fireflies seem to be hiding somewhere. I need to find them. Forget about them and go to bed. No, you don't get it. If I'm thinking about something, I need to finish my thoughts or else. I glance around the room. There are too many places for a creature as small as a firefly to hide here. They can be anywhere. Suddenly, I hear a deafening rumble. The clock just hit midnight. It's so late already, and I can't go to bed right now. Will you help me? Please tell me. ... Come on, stop bullying me. You promised to talk to me. What were you thinking while lying on the floor? What do you mean? You should know better than anyone else. Instead of asking silly questions, help me find fireflies. To be honest, I have no idea where to look for them. Me neither. I guess we'll have to tear the whole place apart. No. If I make the smallest messes here, I'll feel really bad. Things should stay in their places. Why? Are you trying to come up with a reason right now? Who, me? No, of course not. I think you forgot to put up your mind block. I can see through you. Rude. All right, then. We need to find a bunch of tiny insects inside a mountain of junk without moving anything an inch. Okay. Now we're back on the same track as last time. So she's saying, Last time we were a visual novel. Let's be an adventure game. Okay, this is so childish. You'll be the one doing it. Oh no. Oh yes. You're such a handful. Let's see. You've already proven that you're able to make decisions. Why not continue on that road? Come on, don't be so boring. I was just teasing you. You don't have to bear the whole burden. Asking for help is a reasonable decision too. Let's begin already. I go to the middle of the room and look around. Where would I hide if I were a tiny firefly? Ah, this is so thrilling. My heart gets warmer from the pleasant anticipation. Hey, what? Look down. I look down. After a moment, a small ball of light and warmth crawls from under my sweater. Wowee. Wowee. So are all the changes in paths completely determinate from the firefly part on? Okay, we grab the firefly. Sorry, it's time to come home. It flies into her head. It tickles. One down. Let's look for the others. Adventure game mode. Is it? Oh, look, there's eyes outside the window this time. It's completely different. Game saved. Oh, we can save here. Oh, so we can do like alternate paths. That's pretty cool. Okay. Hey, Emrose, how's it going? I look down at my school bag. Worn down and silly, is almost screaming of its own uselessness. Okay. So this is where she tells us about... Okay. She tells us... She's seeing images of the bag being a full belly regurgitating goo. Totally not cool. Senseless and cruel. You were there, but I don't care. Is it me you're laughing at? What? I'd never. After all, you're not my pet. I'm not going along with this nonsense anymore. Got it? Got it. Hey, it wasn't on purpose this time. Tell me what's inside your bag instead. Nothing special. Mostly just all sorts of books. I've taken out all the pens and notebooks. Out of there. And I'm not interested in anything else. You used to go to school, didn't you? Yeah, I did. I had a blast all the way. Are you sure you understood my question? Do you think everything in my life should be doom and gloom? You're wrong. All right, all right. The rooms were... Okay, what did you like about the school? The rooms were bright. Hey, thanks for the follow, Kirby. That's it? Okay, so this time we're not going to pry. Oh, you have the milk? Don't give her the milk. Whatever you do, do not give her the milk, or else Mom will have to come again. So the beds were soft. Everyone else skipped class, but she didn't. And the rooms were bright. You never graduated, though. Yeah. Do you remember your last day there? It was a normal day. Dad picked me up earlier than usual. He told me that I'm too old for the school curriculum, and also realized that some time ago the tasks were way too easy. Then we got into the car and went home. Mom greeted us there. We had dinner and went out to our rooms. So, if I pry, what she basically reveals is, through her telling me this 4 times, that she was sent out basically kicking, screaming, biting. She was dragged out by her dad. Her teachers acted like this was normal. She was brought in the car. On the way home, they sat in silence. Dad picked up milk, brought her home. Mom wasn't home. And what we know from the previous game is that at some day the dad commits suicide or something. So I'm guessing it's that day, but we don't really know. So I'm not going to pry this time. I'm guessing this day has absolutely no special meaning for you. Like I told you, it was just a normal day. Okay, good. I look at my bag again, light pouring into the room. Okay, so we didn't pry that anyways. I almost end up kicking the bag in a feat of sudden anger, but I managed to stop myself in the nick of time. So we're back on the same track as we were before, except we didn't get that info. Okay. Look at your feet. Okay. So this is currently still playing out the same, except that we've lost some key information. I wonder why. Okay, so this firefly is sad because clearly the fireflies represent memories, and this was the memory of that last day. Okay. I don't know how we access this. There's got to be a way. Where else were memories? There was a memory in the laptop. I look at my laptop. I haven't touched it. It's covered with dust. It's a bizarre item. I fear it. Why? It's a long and boring story. Wonderful. Tell me about it. I insist. I don't remember how it appeared in my room. They added 2 more Tomb Raider. Oh, really? Oh, interesting. When I checked, I saw that there were 3 games, right? One of my parents probably brought it here because they couldn't find a better place for it. Okay, they didn't. They encouraged me to use it years ago. I did all this stuff until I went on the net. Okay, did you imagine? Your analogies, you're a hamster, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. You'll end up returning to that subject anyway, so this is going to be different. On one wonderful day, someone digs you up from your hamster house and brings you to the pet store. Now your new home is a cage. It's way more comfortable and warm compared to the underground. And the most important part, you have a lot of neighbors there. Their cages are identical to yours. And the other hamsters look identical to you. That means that you're all the same, apart from the fact that they were born at this shop. You'll ask, what does that indicate? And I'll tell you, nothing at all. I forgot what I was talking about. Gosh. Okay, let's start over. This time, try to avoid the stupid hamster analogies. You know, I'm not at fault here. So, I had a lot of friends online. Tens, hundreds of them. Impossible to count. Is it impossible, though? I had exactly 317 of them. Although, I guess nobody counts the exact number of hamsters when they walk into a pet shop. Hey, don't get distracted. Oh, right. From my 317 friends, 68 of them were into gaming, just like me. 130 of them like drawing, just like me. The remaining 119 were into calculators and 3D modeling equally. And when I say equally, I don't mean 59 and a half friends on each side. All right? You can split numbers evenly, no problem. But math doesn't work like that when it comes to friends. A major conundrum, right? Get to the point. I knew, of course, that no real people exist on the web. I also understood that all my friends die the moment I turn off my laptop. But I still wasn't even a bit worried. Why? Do you know what computer programs consist of? It's just a combination of numbers. Which means my friends are also numbers. Isn't that amusing? Not really. Why do you call them your friends? I mean, everyone who shares my interests is my friend. And I don't care whether they know about my existence or not. Anyways, as I was saying, every program has its own algorithm and purpose. It's a mathematical formula. You guys are all just numbers. Do you hear that? When I end stream, does that mean you all die, and then when I start up stream, you come back to life? Anyways, as I was saying, every program has its own algorithm and purpose. It's a mathematical formula. And if you solve that formula, you'll be able to predict the program's behavior at any moment. The longer you speak, the less I follow. You don't even follow me around, just listen. I sit on the floor, and the laptop screen ends up right in the middle of me. The only thing reflected in it is my dim face. A web person is just a random picture and a random string of letters, words and actions. From the web person are just executable code. Hey, let me know if you need a break. One day, someone appeared. From that point, my laptop was always on. There are no real people on the web, but he was good at pretending. At some moments, I let him trick me. Hey, look. Huh? Suddenly, a firefly slowly crawls out from the laptop's vent grill. I reach for it. It gets on top of my palm, blinking all the while. I wonder if there's, if we unlock the final thing by taking the path where she tells us the most about each item. I think it's trying to say something. I can see that myself, if only I knew what. Looks like a cipher. Don't you want to crack it? I changed my mind. I have absolutely no desire to find out what it wants to say. The firefly stops glowing for a moment after that. Then it starts glowing again as if coming back to its senses. For some time, it thinks about the further course of actions, and then flies up and dashes into my ear. Let's continue searching. What about your story? You must be mad at me for interrupting you. I'm sorry. If you do everything right, I'll finish my story, maybe. You promise? I promise. And if you forget, then remind me with a code word, for example. What code word? I'll think of one letter. And for now, let's keep searching for my fireflies. So she might tell us a story later. Where's another firefly? I don't remember where they were. Okay. Now look at the alarm clock. Time continues its unstoppable flow. It's so late. Are you tired? You bet I am. I let out a theatric yawn and hold my arms to the sides. What was it that made us that made her not want to go to the balcony? Was that bedtime? 1, 2. Then I raise them above my head. 3, 4. Maybe a little workout will help me freshen up. Good idea. Okay, you remember the exercises? I think so. Okay, heels, toes apart. You have a clock right there in front of you. So we've seen this play out as is so far. Okay, she saw a pair of eyes on the clock face. She started hearing voices. They pleaded for help, I think. What a mess. Truly a mess. It was a mess, right? A mess. Well, are you counting down? My God, finally. What do you mean? You've been there for half an hour. Okay. You see the firefly? Let's continue searching. So there's no firefly there. I get close to the waste bin and look inside with curiosity. Pill packaging, notebook packages, and other garbage. Boring. There's nothing here. Indeed, no self-respecting firefly would hide in a heap of garbage. Can't disagree with you here. I'm trying to remember where the other ones were. She didn't want to look at this, I remember. I doubt it. All of the compartments are locked. What if... Wait, we did what if, right? Let's do ... Oh, so we just move on from it. The umbrella. Oh, she says that there's nothing from the umbrella. A firefly wouldn't hide in that place. I think I did all... You don't want to check it? Why? I'm sure we won't find anything. Okay. She said the fan was like a cage. I remember. What's so funny about that? I'm imagining myself being a firefly that is looking straight at a giant fan, and I'd be so jealous. The only thing preventing it from flying is a cage it's locked in, and the cable. It's like an inmate, if you think about it. It's so sad, yeah. Let's continue searching. Okay, we'll look at these blank pictures of her favorite memories. Those are the photos of my best memories, but they're all blank. I stared at them so intensely, I burned them with my eyes. They're covering cracks in the walls. Okay. I'm still curious about that. Okay, the notebook... Oh, there's a notebook somewhere. I forgot about that. The usual notebook pages are glued to the wall with a kind of duct tape. Numbers are drawn on them. It's the only kind of information I take in without trouble. This is the dosage and side effects. So this is her mom's writing. She's memorized them by heart. Okay. Don't forget to thank your mom. I don't need your advice. Pages rustle. Let's continue searching. Okay, there's the notebook. I forgot about that. Oh, wait. We could finish searching now. You draw that rarely. So she doesn't like... Okay, we're just going to ... I get closer to the sketchbook. Stepping over the wires, the sleeping bag, the cracks in the laminate, and the window's reflection. The sketchbook is lying on the stool. From my height, it seems like the stool is missing 2 legs. I squat and look again. All the legs are in place. Will I be able to think of an interesting allegory? Okay, let's not go there. I stand up, study the sketchbook from inches away. Its pages are pure white. The last drawing is buried on the previous page where it should be. Okay, so this is where the wind blows and there's... She doesn't want to look at the pages. She's closing her eyes. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to get her to open her eyes. It's okay. She'll open her eyes and see a white page. There's no drawing exposed on the page. Okay. Did I imagine it? I don't know. Did you? Next time, don't close her eyes. So the same thing happens. She wants to close her eyes, but I tell her to keep her eyes open. And inside, she'll see a firefly. Are you okay? Running short on time. Finish searching. We'll see what happens. I've managed to gather my thoughts, but something still worries me. On the other hand, I wasn't supposed to be happy anyways. Why not? If I lose something and then find it, I'll just go back to the starting point. No changes at all, a zero sum. So we didn't find all the fireflies this time, right? But we're still getting the same dialogue pretty much. And happiness is always about being positive, right? You shouldn't think too much, it hurts you. I want to sleep. How about you get some fresh air? What do you mean? To the balcony, breathe in some fresh air. Those words triggered a panic attack in my subconscious. I don't think that's a good idea. Why? This may sound silly, but I feel like someone is watching me. Okay, so now we're going to change. We're going to say there's no way somebody cares about you that much. Just for a couple of minutes, okay? Okay, so now we got her to look outside. Hey, sneaky. My apartment building looks like a bottomless cooking pot, but instead of soot, it has hundreds of concrete and metal boxes on its walls. There are lights on the windows. There are muffled voices coming from the inside. The howling wind spirals up and splits into hundreds of independent streams. Seems like it wants to be heard by every person living there. This game is a sad one. It must feel so lonely, living in endless silence. So this game is about someone who experienced a really bad trauma and then basically some severe mental illness has woken up. That is a completely perspective shifting one. And so it's a rough one. They're basically struggling to function on a day-to-day level, and there's the feel so lonely living in endless silence. Your apartment building is pretty weird, isn't it? I could see the horizon from my window before, and the building grew for miles in both directions. I guess at some point, it circled around and closed on itself. So this is the symbol in the first game. In the first game, she was afraid of the letter O because it makes her visualize something. And this was the image that she visualized. We also know that it sounds like her father jumped off a balcony and died. And so maybe the fear comes from this image at the location of his death. It could be. I don't know. I could see the horizon from my window before, and the building grew for miles in both directions. I guess at some point it circled around and closed on itself. Nothing unusual about that. How do you feel? I definitely feel sometimes that's more than enough. Wait, how did I didn't drive her to first death this time, did I? How do we get her to second death? I definitely feel something's more than enough. Still, you're anxious, aren't you? Of course, moreover, I'm completely terrified. Was it that obvious? You're looking in every direction, but not up. Ah, this? I've already told you, haven't I? About what? Ah, you know, small stuff. Can small stuff make you terrified? It's hard to explain. I climb up the metal railing and let my legs hang down. I sneak short glances at the abyss from time to time. It replies with angry, cold breath. That's how we interact, like old friends. Sometimes I feel like the whole world pretends to be crazy, as if it's trying to make me believe something that doesn't exist. That's weird, isn't it? Yes, but at the same time, it makes me feel a little bit happy. Everything around me was created for my sake, to deceive, trick, or confuse me. If that's true, I guess I'm not so crazy myself after all. You believing in this is the definition of craziness. You're probably right. Another gust of wind blasts against the pot's walls, smashing the glass to dust and blowing away the concrete crust. I, on the other hand, feel a gentle breeze that only ruffles my hair. I still haven't come up with a code word. You were the one to remember your promise. You don't need a code word anymore. I don't like when this happens. I want to remember certain things only when I want to. Nonetheless, you've made that promise, and I'll keep it. But you need to keep in mind, from this moment on, that every word will bring me pain. I bend down and imagine falling into the abyss. I have exactly 2 minutes before I meet my end. If we sit there for 2 minutes, will something happen? Oh, never mind. I had a friend online, my best friend, even though the combination of letters he used in his name wasn't that cool. She's not actually killing herself. This is in her head. Well, the combination of pixels he had instead of his photo was also boring and unattractive. This is so strange and wrong, breaking the rules of being online. Why was he doing that? Maybe his code was a few lines short. I don't quite get what you mean. I could tell you about those rules. You can't find them anywhere, but I'm smart, so I figured them out myself. Although, I'm not sure if I should divulge them. Why? When I try to say what I think out loud, I tend to make mistakes. If I make just a single one, everything that comes after contradicts my thoughts. And I end up with the opposite position. And I don't want that. According to that logic, it'd be better for you to keep your mouth shut forever. Yeah, that's my dream. I keep my mouth shut, never get up from bed, never see or hear anything. Just dream on and on. Oh, why is everything so terrible? Don't get distracted. So what was that about your friend? My friend? Ah, yes. He was brazen enough to... Come on, gather your thoughts. He somehow made me believe that he was real. He kept describing someone else's life to me in detail as if it was him. And he expected me to do the same. And then, I told him everything about myself, without hiding a single thing. I grit my teeth. The wind whips my face without mercy. It slices my skin into uneven stripes, as if it's a piece of thin cloth. He knew more about me than anybody else in the world. Do you know what he did? Yes. Sending an army of bots to harass me was probably fun. And what's most important, it was a win-win situation. They spawn here and there simple bits of code that are effortless to run. No wonder the algorithm assigns the pattern more often than others from the list. Text and voice generators get to work at the same time. My name surfaces on the web more and more. It's unbearable. Unbearable. From around every corner, every balcony, ceiling, attic, wall, I always feel so many pairs of watchful eyes directed at me. And now they watch me from the screens too. But I'll put an end to it. I decided a long time ago. Though, maybe I only decided that only... My body finally crashes into the ground, smashing into a million tiny pieces like porcelain. I'm cold. Let's go back inside. I return to my room. Thankfully, it hasn't changed one bit during the minutes I was outside. Without a second thought, I go towards my laptop and yank the power cable from the outlet. That's it. That's it. That's it. What are you going to do? What's with this silly question? I'm going to sleep, of course, hoping that tomorrow will only come after a year or a decade. Imagining myself to be outside of my mortal shell, but at the same time, still being me, ridiculous, like milk outside of a bag of milk, and yet, you don't have to talk out loud for me to understand that you're worried about me. I know that already. I also know that our time is running short. You won't take another pill. Of course not. In fact, I won't take it tomorrow either. And the day after tomorrow. And never ever. That's a goodbye then. No. I have one more small favor to ask. A really, really small one. What is it? I've blurted out too much already today. A lot of stuff I'd want to forget forever. I don't blame you. But was it really necessary? You'll see tomorrow. No, I wouldn't be able to sleep like this. Fine, then what's the favor? I nervously scratch my wrists and bite on my lower lip. Wait a minute, you're afraid to tell me? Yes. I'm also scared that something bad might happen if I tell you. I'm also scared that when something bad happens, something worse will happen. Stop, I get it already. Still, I won't leave you alone until you tell me. Bully. No, you. I'm curious about the chronology of this stuff. Like, if the dad thing happened after the internet stuff. I crawl into my sleeping bag. The lower part of the room is very cold. I hurry to wrap myself up in blankets, even though the electric heater is working hard to keep me warm. I'm sad because the dreams just won't come anymore. Okay. So, she goes on to describe how when her dreams stopped, she would just stay awake and imagine basically the waking world were dreams. And as that insomnia continued for like a week, she started seeing things. She started seeing images, silhouettes, and they would follow her around. And then one day of just not sleeping for like however long, she just collapsed. And when she woke up, the visions didn't go away. Okay, so she's using her hands to signal something to me because she doesn't want the spirits to hear, or the images. She's signaling that she wants a bedtime story. So I go to tell her a bedtime story. Okay, I say bedtime stories sound meaningless. They're unimportant. They're just a distraction. Get her to close her eyes. Are we going to see the same image at the end? Oh, we got a new achievement. Is anyone there? We're getting a different ending. I wake up lying on the cold floor in the center of a cramped room. I look around without standing up. There's no furniture, just naked walls and a single door. I can hear muffled sounds coming from the other side of it. I think the person that she is talking to in her head, like us, I think it's like a voice in her head, you know? I'm guessing there's like schizophrenia. Scary sounds. I hug my knees and wrap myself in my sweater like it's a blanket. It's no use. I'm chilled down to the bone. The room is pretty spacious, but I still can't shake the feeling that I'm trapped inside a suffocating casket. And the faint blue glow that sneaks in through the keyhole only adds to that feeling. Do I want to know what's outside? As if on cue, an inhuman roar comes from the other side of the door. It beckons louder. It becomes louder and louder, more and more distinct with every passing second. Somebody or something is getting closer. I curl into a ball, trying to take up as little space as possible. Maybe I can become invisible and become smaller in some miraculous way. In the meantime, the howl becomes unbearably loud. But only for a moment. Then, it sheepishly backs off until I can't hear it anymore. I finally decide to stand up. After I do that, I hear another strange sound. It's coming from right above me now. The ceiling moves upwards, squeaking. Small debris falling on my head. I squint a little and raise my hand, trying to touch the ceiling, but it suddenly starts to rise quicker and instantly disappears into the darkness. I'm not in my casket anymore. Well, it wasn't exactly a casket now. It was a well in the form of a casket. A well. So looking up, does she see the O? The room becomes darker and colder. I'll have to do something at some point. Hours pass. I frantically run from one wall to the other, delirious. The walls run away from me, making the already spacious room even bigger. In the end, I stand amidst endless darkness, and only the door is watching me with its eye. I kept purposefully avoiding it. I could sometimes hear horrifying rustles and howls on the outside. However, now I don't even have a choice anymore. I slowly come up to the door and reach out toward it. As expected, the door also moves away from me. I continue moving forward with my hands stretched out. I don't want to lose my only source of light in this pitch-black darkness. At some point, I get tired of sneaking up on the door like some sort of wild animal, so I lunge at it, trying to grab the handle. However, at the last moment, the door whizzes away, and I fall onto the cold floor, unable to keep my balance. It hurts. Stupid door. Stupid, nasty, cursed door. I hate you. I hate you. I scream at the top of my lungs. I finally let out all the despair that I had bottled up. I slowly realize how horrible the situation I ended up in is. No, 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 no. I don't stop screaming for a moment because I'm scared to end up in complete silence. If the reality around me disappears, my twisted imagination will take over, and the realest thing I have right now is my voice. Hey, I can hear you. A voice coming from the other side of the door. I'm here, come closer. I scream thrice as hard as before. I scream until my throat hurts, until my ears start buzzing. My biggest wish right now is to keep in touch with that person, whoever they are. Hey, where are you? I rush towards the door, stumbling on the way. I keep running for a minute, for 10 minutes, but the door isn't even an inch closer. At the same time, the distance between us hasn't grown either, which means I match it in speed. I just need to make one final push. I gather the last bit of strength I have and push my legs off the ground. The jump feels like an eternity. I stretch out my hand, almost touching the scratchy wood. I dive face first onto the ground, with ridiculous speed. I slide at least 30 more feet like that, thanks to inertia, leaving behind a bloody trail. My hand is still outstretched, trying to grab empty space. Tears stream down my face, making the numerous scratches burn. I try to wipe them, but I scream and yank my hand away the moment I touch my face. My lips and nose are now a mushy mess. Somebody help! The other side of the door is completely silent. The silence reigns for an excruciatingly long time. However, at some point, that silent torture ends. Hey, I can see you. I try to reply, but stifled whimpers come out of my throat instead of words. Are you hurt? Yes. I stand up from my knees. I stand up from my knees despite continuing to cry. I take a couple of deep breaths and start running again. I keep running for hours. I feel like the door is closer to me by an inch or two now. I almost let myself stop for rest at that thought. I can't rest. I'll catch up to it sooner or later. The voice from the other side of the door keeps asking me how I feel. I let out heavy, ragged breaths in reply. I'll fall from exhaustion if I utter even a single word. Still, I'm thankful to them and don't want them to become silent. After another hour passes, I barely scratch the handle with my nails. I'm almost there. I'm so scared. Why aren't you doing anything? Why are they doing this to me? Don't they understand how painful this is for me? Almost there. You're scaring me. Go away. Rage fills my brain. I ignore the pain in my bones and channel all my strength into one final jump. No, go away! I firmly grasp the handle and open the door. Blinding light hits my eyes. I lose the ground beneath my feet and start falling. I'm lying face down in grass. I smell water, earth, and the dampness of the night. And grass, of course. The wind tickles the back of my head. It howls and jumps around restlessly. Lying down like this is unpleasant and rude when nature is so alive around me, with sounds, and I'm pretty sure colors too. I stand up, full of anticipation. I see an endless field, a clear sky without a single star, and a pale moon somewhere very, very far away. I shake my head and try to focus my eyes on anything, but to no avail. My surroundings are just too vast. I feel dizzy. Bam! I'm lying in the thick, wet grass again, but this time I'm looking at the darkness of a night sky. Instead of just darkness, is there any real difference though? The wind howls. It's clearly upset, but what can I do about it? I hear an indiscernible echo coming from far away. A wolf or something else. Does it even matter? I'm in the grass. Nobody can see me. The echo. The echo draws closer and closer. At some point, I realize that it's not a wolf. I jump up and start turning my head in panic. Where is that sound coming from? I haven't said that out loud, but got an instant reply. Oh. Hey, I hear you. The voice runs across the field, mixing with the rustle of the grass and the howls of the wind. It feels like it's about to get absorbed by them, but... Hey, where are you? I can't understand where I should run to, and if I should run at all. Somebody clearly wants me to find and help them. Maybe they're hurt. The grass tickles my heels while I drag my feet in the direction where I think the sound is coming from. It's just, there's not a single tree or stone around, only an endlessly wide field. I hear a resounding, painful scream. I shut my eyes and cover my ears. I suddenly feel scared. The scream turns into a cry. I carefully raise my head, still scared to death. Somewhere very far away among the thick grass, I spot a silhouette. Just a small black spot, but... Hey, I can see you. The silhouette doesn't move, but the sound is definitely coming from its direction. No, it's not a scream. More like a whisper or a wheeze. Are you hurt? No reaction again, just muffled sounds. Maybe it's the wind going mad, and the black spot is just a stone or a tree. I walk away disappointed. 100 steps, 200 steps. Then I turn around. Surprisingly, the spot hasn't become smaller. I start jogging. The grass is no longer tickling me. It's whipping my ankles, leaving cuts. Feeling of panic and unexplainable dread grows inside of me. A stone, a tree. Why the hell is this field endless? I don't turn around anymore. I know that it's chasing me. The sounds reaching my ears become even stranger, louder, and more distinct. The wind is bullying me too, huh? Isn't that right? That's the case, right? Finally, I stopped. I ran out of breath. I'm at the brink of dying. At least, I think so. Oh. The horrifying voice is coming right behind me. I turn around instinctively and, for some reason, try to shield my face, but end up losing balance and falling to the ground. The grass replies with a nasty cackling rustle. Oh. I've had enough. I spring up. The silhouette is still there and at the same distance as before. I'm standing there without moving an inch. I'm scared here, you know? Why won't you do anything? The silhouette trembles and then starts slowly gliding towards me, followed by new sounds, wheezes, moans. Fear shackles me. I can only stand and watch the approaching black spot. My lips are parched. I speak in a voice I don't recognize. You're scaring me. Go away. Is it going to be her? After that, the spot expands rapidly, and in the blink of an eye, most of the sky and the field is consumed by the sticky, cold darkness. Paralysis finally lets my body go, and I immediately sprint away. I run so fast that the grass turns into a dark green mush under my feet. I slip up, fall, run again. No, go away! An unknown force turns my head with a crunching sound, and the darkness consumes everything. I wake up on the cold floor in the center of a cramped room. I look around. Without standing up, there's no furniture, just naked walls. And there's the O. Okay. No, it's literally saying O. The first game, a creature kept repeating O to her. And she was like, what are you saying? And it would say O. And she would be saying, what? Excuse me, what? O. Excuse me, what? O. And she revealed that she has a fear of the letter O because of the image it puts in her mind. Yeah. And the image of her mind is that image, which is presumably the sky from the apartment. We know that her father fell from the apartment to his death. And when she looks down from the balcony, she won't look up. She'll look down into the abyss, but she won't look up because looking up is where that O is contained. So I'm guessing that O is the symbol of the trauma in her head that likely contributed or initiated all of this stuff. Actually, it didn't initiate all of it because her father was alive when she was talking about the school thing. So clearly these problems predated that trauma. Thanks, I appreciate it. Okay, so we got another ending. It's going to be hard to figure out where the other ending... Can we click continue and will it put us in the apartment? Okay. So what have we missed? Here, let's check out these achievements real fast. So we have 6. What are we missing? Oh, we got the rarest one. So that's good. So we're missing a few. Second death. So we didn't actually in this save, I don't think we got the first death. So we might need to do a redo and try to get everything. But this time we're going to try to get nothing. So we're going to take the save. We're going to try to find nothing, and then we're going to make her look outside. There's a couple possibilities. So let's just look at stuff that is not going to provide us anything, okay? Okay, she'll look at the dead plant. There's nothing there. Okay. What else? I don't remember where else. I don't think there's anything at the fan. Okay. The fan is like a cage. Let's continue searching. Okay, so these two both have something. I don't think this has anything. I doubt it. Okay. Can we finish searching yet? What else? I don't think the pills do. The garbage didn't either. Okay. Does it require us to get some? Okay, take care. Take care, Sneaky. I don't think the pills do. What else? So that does, I think. That does for sure. That does and that does. What else does not? I don't think these do. Oh, maybe it does actually. The images. They're blank. Cracks. Okay. Okay, that does not. Let's see. I don't think the pills do. Maybe it's requires us to get a certain amount. Okay. You'll ultimately die anyway, so why worry? Oh, you're right. I heave a deep sigh. Come closer and extend my hand. Wow, it's warm. The moment those words leave my lips, one of the bottles overturns. Pills rain down from it, and along with them, a firefly. Okay, there was a firefly in the pills. Can we stop searching yet? This doesn't have anything. Tilt my head backwards. Maybe we do need a certain amount. Okay. This doesn't. Okay, there's cockroaches in there, she says. Do I understand? I don't. Can we stop searching yet? Huh. Okay, let's look in here. It's not easy to get out of there. Turn my eyes towards an inconspicuous shelf. Towel and toothbrush. Fireflies would never get in there. Okay, let's look somewhere else. Maybe we need a specific amount of fireflies before we can continue. Because we have the clock. So the laptop has it. I don't think the bed has any. Do you fall asleep? Okay, we'll find something inside. No. What? I said searching here is meaningless. Okay. I think everything else has... I think everything else has fireflies. Oh, not this. Okay, maybe we have to do the fireflies. Your usual notebook, dosage and effects. Does this have a firefly? I can't remember if this does. Okay. Let's continue searching. Okay. So we're going to look at this. We're not going to pry. We're not going to pry any information at all. And then we're going to go look outside. I guess it has no meaning for you. It was normal. Okay. We'll move on. What do you mean you'll go blind? Look at your feet. Okay, that firefly is sad. Wait, where were the fireflies, by the way? So there's one in here. There's one in here. There's one in here. There's one in the pills. Was there one in this note? I can't remember. And there's one in the clock, I think. I can't remember. I could be wrong about that. I've managed to gather my thoughts, but something still worries me. On the other hand, I wasn't supposed to be happy anyway. Why not? If I lose something and then find it, it's just going back to the starting point. Zero sum. Okay. You shouldn't think about it too much. That'll hurt you. I want to sleep. How about you get some fresh air? Okay, let's get her to go out to the balcony, because she doesn't have that story to tell us, so we'll play out differently. Why? This may sound silly, but I feel like someone is watching me. No one cares about you that much. Just for a couple of minutes, okay? This should play out differently. My apartment building looks like a bottomless cooking pot, but instead of soot, it has hundreds of concrete and metal boxes on its walls. And there are lights on the windows. There are muffled voices coming up from the inside. The howling wind spirals up and splits into hundreds of independent streams. Seems like it wants to be heard by every person living here. It must feel so lonely, living in endless silence. Your apartment building is pretty weird, huh? I could see the horizon from my window before, and the building grew for miles in both directions. I guess at some point it circled around and closed itself. Nothing unusual about that. How do you feel? I definitely feel sometimes that's more than enough. Still, you're anxious, aren't you? Of course. Moreover, I'm completely terrified. Was it that obvious? You're looking in every direction, but not up. Ah, this? I've already told you, haven't I? About what? Ah, you know, small stuff. Can small stuff make you terrified? It's hard to explain. I climb up the metal railing and let my legs hang down. Sneak short glances at the abyss. Okay. So we've seen all this. Trying to make me believe something that doesn't exist. That's weird, isn't it? Yes, but at the same time, it makes me feel a little bit happy. Everything around me was created for my sake, to deceive and confuse me. That's why I guess I'm not so crazy after all. You believing in that is the definition of crazy. You're probably right. Another gust of wind blasts again against the pot walls, smashing the glass to dust and blowing it to pieces. Blowing the concrete dust. I'm cold. Let's go back inside. Okay. Now, are we going to have a different ending? We didn't have the interlude. Look at the background. I returned to my room. Thankfully, it hasn't changed one bit since the 10 minutes I was outside. What are you going to do? What's with this silly question? I'm going to sleep, of course. Hoping that tomorrow will only come after a year or a decade. Okay, so this is playing out the same. You don't have to talk out loud. I understand that you're worried about me. I know that already. I know that our time is running short. You won't take another pill, so this is goodbye. No. I have another favor to ask. What is it? I blurted out too much today. But was it necessary? You'll see tomorrow. Okay. What's the favor? Wait a minute, you're afraid to tell me. Yes. I'm also scared that something bad might happen if I tell you. I'm also scared when something bad happens, something way worse will happen. Okay, how do we get the second death? I think we have to start from the very beginning to get the first death. I crawl into my sleeping bag. Okay, so they're going to want us to tell them a bedtime story. They're telling us about their insomnia. Today, well, too scared to tell me? Of course. They're still listening, you know? I wonder if I can get her to tell me. You want me to tell? She wants me to tell her a bedtime story. Okay. Oh, this is the same as the first one, maybe? I wake up on a wooden bench. In front of me lies... This is awfully familiar road. Where have I seen it? Finally. Is this playing out the same? This is the same as the first ending. Huh. So this is Tresca, or whatever his name is. You have a name, none of your business. Okay. So this is where we're going to go to the store with him. Huh. So I guess this is like the default ending if you don't meet the other conditions. Okay. All the people are going to be afraid of him. He's going to be really sad. Okay. So we got the same ending. I think we need to start over from the very beginning and get the first death. So we're going to run through this. And we'll start over from the very beginning. Okay. Okay. So that's not going to work. Hey, I want to check something. Okay, so what are the actual things called that we need to get? We need to get, are we friends? I look down. So is that a balcony thing? Everything is fine. And second death. Are there guides? All endings guide. Will this give achievements? The shop ending, we've gotten that one. So there's 5 endings. The mirror ending. Okay, let's go back for a second. Is there an achievement guide? All achievements and endings. Oh, this is a video. So, okay, there's 6 fireflies. Huh. Let's see. First death and second death. Well, I can't speak Spanish, so that's a problem. Okay. Let's go. That's a bit of a barrier for that one. Because, okay, let's get out of that. Oh, wait, English, all endings. Do not trigger the strangulation and collect the phone? There's a phone. Okay, shop ending is trigger strangulation. Don't meet any of the other 4 endings. This is the default ending. That's the one we just got. Okay, so for a phone ending, we need to collect the phone. For the mirror ending, we need to not trigger strangulation. We need to not collect a phone, and we need to collect all 5 fireflies. Okay, so we can do that one easy. Okay, we'll continue, because this does not have the first death. So, we'll go bam. We don't need the story. Let's just go totally not cool, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this is Firefly 1. That's it. Okay. No special meaning. Okay. So, we're going to get Firefly 1. So they said there's 6 fireflies. There's a phone. Let's continue searching. So that's 1. Here's 2. We're going to skip through this. Okay. The pages rustle. Okay. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Okay. A firefly. So that's 2. Okay. Number 3 is here. Is 5 here? Okay, number 3 is here. Okay, let's just click through. Okay. Fine. Okay, we got the firefly. So that's 3. Let's get 4. Calm down. You've already fixed that. An accusation? Of course not. It was what saved me. Well, that's reasonable. Okay. All the pills turn out. And was the last one the alarm clock? Is there a firefly from this? Can't remember where the 5th firefly was. Okay. Pair of eyes. Then she, like, kind of clonks out for half an hour. What do you mean? Do you see a firefly? No. Oh, there's no firefly. Where's the 5th one? All endings. Let's see. Pills, dosage papers. That's where the other one is. Okay. Dosage papers. Bam. Okay. Okay, so I think we're ready, right? Collect all 5 fireflies. Do not collect the phone. Do not get strangled. Finish searching. So we should trigger another ending. You found all the fireflies? Amazing, I guess. I managed to gather my thoughts, but something still worries me. On the other hand, I wasn't supposed to be happy anyway. Why not? If I lose something... Okay, so this is playing out the same. Okay. Let's just go to bed. All right, let's stay here. It's bedtime. I'm going to sleep, of course. Okay. Okay, we're saying our goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow. Wouldn't be able to sleep like this. What's the favor? I nervously scratch my wrists and bite on my lower lip. Wait a minute, you're afraid to tell me. Yes. I'm also scared that something bad might happen if I tell you, or something way worse will happen after something bad happens. I get it already. Still, I won't leave you until you tell me. Bully. No, you. Okay, so she's going to pop into bed. Okay, electric heater's warm. I'm sad because dreams won't come back anymore. She tells me about the insomnia stuff and the visions. Okay. I'm still curious about the second death. Okay, we got a new achievement. Everything is fine. Ugh, another terrible morning. Boo, why is my face always so stupid? I wonder what the others at school will think. Well, it's not like I care too much. I just don't want to be branded a loser on my first day. Cheer up. There's nothing wrong with looking different. That's not what defines you after all. Hey, hurry up. Yes, Mom. Ugh, another terrible morning. Boo. Why is my face always so stupid? I wonder what the others at school will think. Well, it's not that I care too much. I just don't want to be branded a loser on my first day. Cheer up. There's nothing wrong with looking different. That's not what defines you after all. Hey, hurry up. Yes, Mom. Ugh, another terrible morning. Ooh, why is my face always so stupid? I wonder what the others at school will think. Well, it's not that I care too much. I just don't want to be branded a loser on my first day. Cheer up. There's nothing wrong with looking different. That's not what defines you after all. Hey, hurry up. Yes, Mom. There's the O. Ugh, another terrible morning. Ooh, why is my face always so stupid? I wonder what the others at school will think. Well, it's not that I care too much. I just don't want to be branded a loser on my first day. Cheer up. There's nothing wrong with looking different. Man, Kirby, The emote that you just posted looks very similar to this image right now. That's not what defines you after all. Hey, hurry up. Yes, Mom. Ugh, another terrible morning. Ooh, why is my face always so stupid? Well, it's not like I care too much. I just don't want to be branded a loser on my first day. Cheer up. There's nothing wrong with looking different. That's not what defines you after all. Hey, hurry up. Yes, Mom? Ugh, another terrible morning. Ooh, why is my face always so stupid? I wonder what the others at school will think. Well, it's not that I care too much. I just don't want to be branded a loser on my first day. Cheer up. There's nothing wrong with looking different. That's not what defines you after all. Hey, hurry up. Yes, Mom. Ugh, another terrible morning. Ooh, why is my face always so stupid? I wonder what the others at school will think. Well, it's not that I care too much. I just don't want to be branded a loser on my first day. Cheer up. There's nothing wrong with looking a little different. That's not what defines you after all. Hey, hurry up. Yes, Mom. Ugh, another terrible morning. Ooh, why is my face always so stupid? I wonder what the others at school will think. Well, it's not that I care too much. I just don't want to be branded a loser on my first day. Cheer up. There's nothing wrong with looking different. It's not what defines you after all. Hey, hurry up. Yes, Mom. Ugh, another terrible morning. Ooh, why is my face always so stupid? I wonder what the others at school will think. Well, it's not that I care too much. I just don't want to be branded a loser on my first day. Cheer up. There's nothing wrong with looking different. That's not what defines you after all. Hey, hurry up. Yes, Mom. Good morning. I feel wonderful today. I can't wait for my first day at school. Hey, hurry up. Yes, Mom. Wow. This game is a freaking downer. Okay. Okay. So we have the credits. Let's see. What conditions do we need? There's something about a phone. We also need to figure out how to get the second death. Okay. So we got the mirror ending, the room and field ending. Okay. We've done that one. So we've gotten this ending. The stairs ending. Do not trigger that. Do not collect the phone. Do not collect the balconies. Wait, I thought we did this. I thought we tried this. Do not trigger the cutscene. Do not collect the phone. Do not collect all the fireflies. Do not go to the balcony. That's a different one. Okay, we can get that one now. Okay. This one is easy to get. Oh, yeah? The one with like the bangs that went in front of the face, and then it almost looked like they were like antlers. Okay, we have 2 more endings, and we also have to get the second death. How do we get the second death? Okay, I want to see something. Oh, memes. Okay, where does it say collect Milk-chan's phone? What the heck is that about? Oh, is it there? Okay. So, do not trigger strangulation. Collect the phone. So there's that. So let's continue. There's a phone there. Okay, we're not going to do that yet. So first things first, we'll get this. Okay, we'll click through that. Wait, so this ending said to not get all the fireflies, to not go to the balcony, right? Don't get strangled. Don't collect the phone. Don't get the fireflies. Don't go to the balcony. Okay, we can do that. Okay. Okay. So that's number one. Let's look at this real fast. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. Let's click on some random stuff. What if, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We'll click on pills now. Get another one. Okay, and now we can finish searching. We didn't get all the fireflies. Okay, we'll click through this. Why not? Blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't think about that. Okay, fresh air. Balcony. Why? Okay. Let's stay here. Okay, so now we can get this ending. You'll see tomorrow. Okay. She's gonna tell us about the insomnia again. Well. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do the bedtime story. Okay. Next ending. I wake up and immediately almost lose consciousness from horror. A thin metal stairway snakes around the giant column, disappearing into the darkness. I press myself into the cold wall and pray that I freeze into it. This feeling, I know I've spent a couple of hours or days here, but I don't know how high the column is. I don't know whether I'm going up or down. A billion pounds of concrete and a million miles of emptiness. It's impossible to stay sane when you're near cosmic numbers like that. Looking at them, touching them, even thinking of them makes me feel unimaginable horror. It was just a matter of time before my short term here will end. My mind will melt and my body will turn to dust. The wall's coarse surface scratches my face. The steps under my feet hum from the wind, eager to escape the concrete's clutches and dive into the abyss along with me. But I'll stay here. I'll stay here without going anywhere. I won't even open my mouth. My every word will be swallowed up by the abyss. I won't take a single step. Why would I? To find out where the stairway abruptly ends? It's all meaningless. Many units of time pass, but I'm still unmoving. My whole body is trembling, and then I realize it's the whole space around me that is trembling. I can't wait to destroy me. Maybe I should gather my will, or at least turn my head. Oh God. Mona. I think she's lactose intolerant. I'm pretty sure. The thought doesn't stay in my head for long. It's torn out with inhuman force, unaware of what's about to happen. I slowly turn my whole body with a squeak. No, this is not what I wanted. Don't. Amongst the silence sings a lonely colossus, unmoving. Until the music stops, the bridge across the dark abyss cannot be seen. This is like Manifold Garden if it was horrific. Oppressive, thick, sticky air drives itself into my ears, silencing my thoughts with a haphazard string of words while I watch the scene before me unfold. Hundreds of giant concrete structures just like mine spread in tidy rows, endlessly in all directions. Stairways wrap around them like vines. There, at the end of this world, there is a person smiling. This world still exists. But all that makes it both exists and not. I try to erect a mind block, but to no avail. My brain is already at the mercy of this super creature. A moment passes, and I realize that my body doesn't belong to me anymore. My legs start moving on their own. The only thing I can do is choose the direction. Up, down, or... The crowd notices blood on Wazik's hands. He runs away. Mendel appears. He has nothing human about him, apart from his excessive grace and hidden elegance. He walks out to the center of the stage. First act begins. Foreign thoughts become even more incoherent. There's less and less space for my own. Did you feel the connection to your body, or does it still cause confusion and fear? If you've been living through that fear a lot recently, how did it manifest exactly? Answer me honestly. Don't hide anything. I decided to descend. You can have a sneaking suspicion that something is wrong because your path has changed. Maybe you started talking in a wrong way or made some sort of mistake. So, start getting used to your new life. Try creating imagery that would instill the feeling that everything is as it should be, and with time, it will create a new order inside you. I don't doubt that you're going through some hard times, but you have to make sacrifices, grow up. Only then you'll be able to obtain the meaning of life. Do you get it? Try that if you find it important. Every passing day is a precious gift. If you share a piece of that gift with the world even once, it'll seem like a speck of dust. Do you get it? No, I'm sorry. You won't get that then. Do you get it? Do you get it? You get it? Yes, even you get it. When you notice how people look at themselves in the mirror, when you look at your own reflection and realize that it exists in reality, you understand how exactly it exists. Okay, and so the other one we have to do requires us to get a phone. The phone ending. Do not trigger this strangulation. Collect the phone. Okay, we have to do that. We also need to look something up real fast. Let's go to discussions. Let's look up second death. Okay, let's see. Wait, that didn't give us the second death, though. Interact with the laptop, make her promise she'll tell you the rest of the story, then go to the balcony. Oh, did we not get the first death, though? Because we didn't get the second death achievement, right? The two that are locked are we friends in second death? Maybe we need to get the strangulation first before we get the second death. Oh, this game is rough. Like, it's really, really good, but there is some commentary in it that is a tough reality with a lot of trauma and a lot of mental illness. And the sad commentary is there's often a futility associated with it, where no matter what you do, there's no making it better. There's just existing with it. In certain cases, the trauma or the illness or whatever you call it is just too big. And so with this, we can take every solution, and we're pretty sure it's always going to end in, you know, she survives and she cries and she has a terrible experience. This is a visual novel. So basically, we played through the game. Right now, we're just going through all the endings because we've gotten a couple endings already. Well, now we have all of them except one. So we need to get the phone. What's this? This is a sequel to another game called Milk Inside a Bag of Milk Inside a Bag of Milk, which that game was a lot more... that game was quite different than this one. Quite a bit. This one also has a lot more to it. Okay, let's get a couple of fireflies. Okay, we'll skip through this. So we still need to get the second death. But first, let's get this ending. Yeah, these games actually have some commentary in it from this character's perspective that's pretty heartbreaking. Because there's a certain self-awareness to this character in a weird way, where like she simultaneously is basically terrified of so many things in the world, but she also sees like other people staring at her and sees the fear that she causes in other people. Like these people looking at her that don't understand her, and she's basically says they're more afraid of me than I am. And meanwhile, her whole existence is like just this. Like, there's fear in looking at milk that she took out of the store. She feels a sense of responsibility. Just all the connections in the head. It's also interesting putting you in a perspective of something and, like, having a pseudo logic to it. Like, clearly an extremely, extremely broken logic. But, like, you could see how a person... Something about it feels real, which is really impressive for writing about something like this. I don't know. I feel like this is really well made. Okay. Okay. Let's get these pills. So we have the phone. This should get another ending, right? And then we have to get second death. I think to get second death, we might have to get first death beforehand. So I managed to gather my thoughts, but something still worries me. On the other hand, I wasn't supposed to be happy anyway. Why not? Okay, so this is playing out the same. I want to sleep. Fresh air. Okay. Let's stay here. Yep. Okay, what are you gonna do? What's that silly question? I'm gonna sleep, of course. Okay. She's not gonna take pills anymore. Okay. Now she's gonna tell us about the insomnia and how the vision started and all that stuff. Okay. And then we need to figure out how to get second death after this ending. Okay. He wants me to tell her a bedtime story. Okay. Now let's see. The phone ending. What is this? This ending isn't in monochrome. Hello, thank you for choosing our pizzeria. You know, this place is so empty, though I don't feel particularly good or bad because of it. I'm all alone, but at the same time, it feels like I'm not. There's a lot of thoughts in my head. They always keep me entertained. I can create a whole world with them. I'm sure it'll be able to fill the void around me if I try hard enough. Although, no matter how much I think, my surroundings don't change. Yes, things happened in my head, but they never left its premises. And it's not like I tried to suppress them. Maybe they were afraid to come out. What kind of pizza would you like to order? Anyway, there's so much space in my head that could be put to good use. So every thought would make a senseless and merciless circle in my head, destined to go back to where it started. But there should be an end somewhere. You can't wander around forever. What do you think? I know it sounds scary, but it's not scarier than constantly existing among the void. This place is safe, and nothing bad will happen here. Nothing good will happen either, though. Please note that we have a special offer right now. 3 pizzas for the price of 2. Yeah, there's probably nothing good in having the same thoughts over and over. What's the point of having them anyway? I could have escaped from here, but I feel like my thoughts aren't helping me at all. They should be ashamed, probably. It's nobody's fault that I can't even see a door here. I would have had it easier with one. I tried to find it. It turned out to be a waste of time. No matter where I look, it's not looking good. Pun not intended. And the strips of me of the last bit of hope. And that strips me of the last bit of hope for salvation. We also have a discount program for new customers. You can learn more about it on your account page. Don't you think that me being here is also a waste of time? What's the point in that? I can just keep on thinking, and even then, my thoughts are as meaningless and empty as everything else. Does it mean that I'm not fitting in the void, but am a part of it? Then why should I feel anything? Why should I know that I exist? Although I'm not even sure about that. This place is always neither warm nor cold. It's neutral. But at the same time, if I think about warmth, I feel warm. Maybe this world corresponds to my thoughts. I wouldn't want to admit that I'm completely empty. I'm not the reason everything had disappeared, right? Can't I just adapt and get used to having nothing around me since I can't do anything about it? Are you ready to make your order? Yes, that's right. I shouldn't care. It's empty here, and it makes me feel neither good nor bad. I'm all alone, but at the same time, it feels like I'm not. There are a lot of thoughts in my head. They always keep me entertained. I can create a whole world with them. This place is safe, and nothing bad will happen here. Nothing good will happen either, though. Me being here is a waste of time. I don't fill the void. I'm part of it. That strips me of the last bit of hope for salvation. I shouldn't care. It's empty here, and it makes me feel neither good nor bad. It's nobody's fault that I can't even see a door here. What's the point in having one? I feel like nobody is helping me. They should feel ashamed. I wouldn't want to admit it, but I'm all alone here. I can't do anything about it.
Please note that we have a special offer right now. 4 pizzas for the price of 2. I don't care that this place is empty, you hear? I feel neither good nor bad. I'm all alone. You hear the sound of a train or something. My head is full of thoughts. They eclipse the world around me. This space is pretty cramped, but at least it's safe. Even though I'll never feel good here. Does that mean existing is a waste of time? I need to decide, and my thoughts will help me. They'll lead me to the exit, and I'll be able to feel proud of myself. I'll be able to save myself. At the same time, I don't really care anymore. This place is empty, but it makes me feel neither good nor bad. I'm alone, but my head is full of thoughts. A whole world, one might say. If I try hard enough, they'll be able to fill all the void around me. Still, hey there, Zoo, how's it going? Still, no matter how much I keep thinking, my surroundings don't change. Yes, something happened outside of my head, but... what was it? There's not enough space for my thoughts. It's already filled with something else. Even if there's nothing around me, I'm still here. And my head is full of thoughts. If I try hard enough... So the world isn't empty after all. I can't see anything. I wonder what the audio is saying backwards. Like, I presume it's in another language. But I'm curious what it says, reversed. I can't see anything. Session timeout. Please reload the page. There we go. That's the final ending. Every ending, no matter what we choose, plays out the same. Okay, so we need to figure out the first and second death. First death. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Require additional factors, which can be done in any playthrough. First dash, push the protagonist about her thoughts when lying on the floor, causing her to experience a sensation of death. This particular achievement can only be done after having died the first time in a single playthrough, as she states. This is the second time she's died today. Okay. So. First death, push the protagonist about her thoughts when lying on the floor, causing her to experience a sensation that can only be described as death. Please forget it. Ask about the laptop and make the protagonist tell the story about why it scares her. You're annoying, have her repeat herself. Second death. Huh. Oh, am I reading these 16th, 7th? Okay. Okay. So I think that we have to... So to get the second death, I think we have to get the first death. So we got to do a new game. Okay. Okay, so she's walking to her room. She's seeing all the shadows. She's in a hurry because her mom told her to go to bed. She feels the shadows whizzing past her, touching her. She wants to burst through a door, but she's worried that there's a corpse on the other side, and she's worried that bursting through, if the corpse is already dead, then could that bring the corpse back to life? When she opens the door, she sees milk. There's no living corpse, but there's milk. The milk wouldn't have died in the store. No one can drink it in the store. It was safe there, but she brought it home, which meaning that she could have killed it, basically. So she leaves in shame because she only brings trouble for everyone. She walks towards her room through a narrow corridor, and she sees a face. It's her mother. Her mother begins sniffing her, grabbing her arm, checking her wrists. Sniffs her from head to toe again, she says. She questions her as she stares in the bottomless eye sockets. Don't move. The creature squeezes. You promised so many times, stay put. And the claw pierces her arm. It hurts. Okay. Why do I feel so hot? She feels the blood boiling up. She starts screaming. But instead of producing words, she vomits thick, milky foam. Kill me, kill me. Hysterical, she screams. Okay. Yeah, this part is definitely... Say it, I'll never drink milk again. Say it, I'll never drink milk ever again. Say it again. I mean, imagine though, like... The other sad part about this story that, like, you don't see is, like, also picture the mother's perspective, right? Because this is all following, like, the suicide of a father. So we see the mother as this terrifying figure. But from the mother's perspective, it's like, I mean, I don't know about I don't know, it's hard to say, but you just imagine that the daughter took something and is going through a medical reaction and the mother's trying to save her or something, like, but the daughter is interpreting the mother as a threat and is basically afraid of the mom and hiding from the mom. It's like a really sad story from both perspectives. Okay. She starts throwing out the pills and stuff. Okay. Once we get to choose, I'm going to save just in case, because we want to make sure we get the second death. Okay. My head doesn't hurt. Okay, this is us. Let's save. I like how the save game menu is the O. Okay, hey. Okay, hey, long time no see. You know we're only supposed to meet once per day, right? Why does your voice sound so grim? Naturally, I've read the manual. Judging by the pictures, the overdose side effects are the usual headaches, dizziness, exhaustion. Basically, nothing I can't handle by myself. After all, now I know how to do it. Okay, see you in a bit, CD. By the time you're back, we might be on a different game. You didn't reply. Aren't you even a little bit happy? Not even the slightest bit? I'm pretty exhausted after today. I guess you are too. That's not true. You need to go to bed. No, you've been in control for way too long already. It's my turn now. I'll just stay silent about the medicine's until the medicine's effects wear off. How about that? Hey, you can't do that. You need to do your best to make me feel better. That's exactly what I'm doing. What a bully. Actually, why am I even worried about this? In reality, I don't need you at all. I'm so energetic, I feel great, which means I can do anything. And you can only watch and agonize over your uselessness. I can imagine how angry you are right now. What made you so happy all of a sudden? And why would I be sad? Remember yourself a couple hours ago? I don't know what you mean. Stop lying. Nuh-uh, I still don't understand. Whatever, unlike you, I won't forget that pathetic, snotty girl for a long time. She just whines and whines all the time. Don't even try ruining my mood. I want to have fun while we're together, alright? So you're the one calling the shots now. Yeah. Well, let's see how long you can last. We'll see, yeah. Am I really that pathetic? Say something. I can feel tears streaming down my cheeks, hanging from my chin, and then falling on my clothes, burning holes in them. That was fast, but not unexpected. Hey, at least I tried. So wash your face, then we'll decide what to do with you. I'm in front of a mirror again. I keep staring at my reflection, trying not to get distracted by the sneery looks on the walls are giving me, trying not to drown in their giggling. And then, in the mirror, it also shows me a creepy smile, bares her teeth at me. I shut my eyes, but that doesn't help. It wouldn't have helped, even if I sunk through the floor. I start counting in my mind, 2 squared. Okay, pyramidal structures, I feel better. But my head is splitting apart now. How do you feel? You're mocking me, right? I'm obligated to ask you this at least a couple times per session. A session, huh? You don't like that word. I'm fine. No, you're not. I don't know why, but I thought I'd be able to take control. I was almost ready to. I was sure I'd be able to change something. After all, I was able to buy milk, you know? Yeah, you ought to know how challenging it was. Okay. Is that why you threw away the medicine? What a stupid decision, right? I forget what I said. I forget what I said. Here, let's save here just in case. The first time. I forget what I said the first time. Whatever, it was your decision. Does that even matter? Yes. Somehow I find it hard to believe. Then why'd you do that? I felt like I'd be able to fight on my own. It's true. The pain subsided for a bit at that time, but now I feel it triple in force. It hurts so bad. You know what to do. Dejected, I reach out for the shelf with my medicine. I swallow the pills one after another, chasing away the unpleasant visions that keep floating up in my memory. And yet, my mind still draws a terrifying picture. Lumps of coagulated blood in transparent coating travel down my esophagus, scratching its soft walls, leaving behind furrows. I shake my head violently. I don't care if it makes me feel dizzy or worsens my pain. I just don't want to think about something so repulsive. You still haven't changed. What do you mean? You're afraid of being alone. That worries you much more than pain. Yeah, I guess. I toss the last pill into the air and catch it with my mouth. Okay. So I think the first death is soon. I lie down on the floor. I look at the ceiling. I can clearly hear water running and metal pipes up there. I hear the cracking of concrete that blocks that will surely fall on my head. But I'm not afraid of that at all. I can't imagine my death coming from above. Rather, it's rearing its claws from somewhere below, waiting for me to lose focus. Do you want to talk about it? No, I've had enough of talking. What do you want then? I just want to lie down for a bit. I carefully extract thoughts that are yet to be fully formed from my head and lay them out on the ceiling in orderly rows. Now it's my corkboard. In hopes of seeing the whole picture, I switch from one place to another. I pile them on top of each other, scatter them around. In the end, I just throw them off with my hand, annoyed, and start over. I can't do it. You can always imagine something, your thoughts as something like small and swarming like cockroaches. I hate cockroaches. Can they be fireflies? I don't mind either way. How do we get the first death? Hey, welcome back. I don't even have to blink before my thoughts. Their fireflies now start whirling all over the ceiling in their own accord, forming whimsical patterns. I can only observe them and wait for the right moment. Okay. It's just that moment doesn't come. The mocking sounds of flapping wings coming from the ceiling start making me lose my patience. Enough, I hate you. How do we get her to experience the first death? I spring to my feet and scream at the top of my lungs. Good job, now start over. No way. Unstable behavior makes you look bad. I don't give a damn. So it doesn't bother you. Oh, did you post another one? I missed, I saw the first one you did, I think. Or I missed one yesterday if you posted it. Okay, take care, Zoo. Should it? Wait, what did they say? What did they say? Shoot. What do you want me to do then? I don't know. It's up to you. I think I messed up. Okay. Huh. What were you thinking while lying on the floor? What do you mean? You should know it better than anyone else. That's the thing. I have no idea. This is weird. Will you tell me? There we go. That's the first death. Take care, Zoo. I roll my sleeves and start rubbing my eyes intensely. They're so itchy. Okay, let's save. Oh, we can't save here. Why are you crying? My eyes are itchy. Did he bring milk? I wonder, if I tear out all my eyelashes one after another, will my eyes stop itching? I wonder, if I tear out all my eyelashes one after another, all my eyelashes one after another, if I tear out all my eyelashes one after another, what have you done? I need to gather the glass and then I have to take a bath and then, here, drink some milk. No! I stand in the middle of the room, my mouth gasping for air. Okay, so we got the first death. Will you tell me or not? Okay, I'll check that. The last one I saw you post was a piano fantasy one. About what? Let's look for the fireflies instead. You're acting weird. Help me instead of running your mouth. I've already had enough adventures before bed. I need to gather my thoughts quickly and go to bed. And all my thoughts are hiding from me. Okay, I have no idea where to look for them. Okay, we'll have to tear this whole place apart. Why? Okay, let's save. So, second death. It sounds like the second death has to do with the laptop, right? So, second death. Okay, what does this say? Although following a guide, I assumed they were referring to the specificity of getting different endings, as well as the second death scene. Opposed to straight up randomness? Huh. Weird. Kind of glad they decided not to put that in the game. Might have been a bit too meaningful. I'll have to look up what this is after. Could be a rare scene. This does have a rare dialogue system. Okay, we'll check that out after. Let's see. Second death. Okay. I played the game twice. One playthrough, I tried to be a nice guy. The second, I did the complete opposite. Found all fireflies in both. Got 7 out of 10 achievements. Huh. Where do we get the second death? It's so... Here it says... Let's see. Walkthrough. Oh, it says second death. Okay. Second death. First death. Please forget it. Second death. Let's see what this says. Okay. Choose. That's the thing. I have no idea. Blah, blah, blah. As usual. Once... Okay. First death complete. Once you press on the laptop, she will give a small story. You'll end up returning the subject anyway. So we have to get her to tell the story. Please forget it complete. After this, make her go to the balcony. If there is no first death, this achievement will not be given to you. Okay. Oh, I see. I see. I see. Okay, you don't... Okay, let's press through this. Okay. Let's just click through real fast. Look down. Wowee. And then we'll go get the second death. The second death might just play out the same. It might just be giving us the achievement. I'm not sure now. Okay, look at the laptop. Blah, blah, blah. Why? Blah, blah, blah. I insist. You had amusing hobbies. Huh? As always, your analogies are spot on. Okay, I imagined. Okay. You'll end up returning to this anyways, so now she's going to tell us about the guy. Okay. There we go. So this, we might have actually already seen the second death. It might have just not triggered the achievement. Okay, let's click this real fast. Bam. We'll get that one really quickly because this is a much faster one than the others. And then this one too. Okay. Finish searching. Let's click through. Why not? Okay. Get some fresh air. Go to the balcony. Why? Feel like someone's watching me. No one cares about you that much. Okay. We're out on the balcony, and we should get second death now. Okay, apartment building looks like a bottomless pit. We have the sound rolling up. The horizon. There's the big old O. I don't think the ending's gonna... I have a feeling it's gonna be the same. I have a feeling it's just an unlock condition. Okay. So this is all playing out the same. Okay. She imagines falling down. So we've seen this. Okay. I had a friend online, my best friend. Okay. So basically, they got to know this guy. And they broke the rules. They told them a lot of things. They thought they were a real person. And then this person basically sent a bunch of bots to harass, and the screen was no longer an escape or whatever. Okay. He was brazen enough too. Come on, gather your thoughts. He made me to believe that he was real. He was describing someone else's life to me. And then I told him everything without hiding a single thought. I grit my teeth. The wind whips my face without mercy and slices my skin into uneven stripes, as if a piece of thin cloth. He knew more about me than anyone else in the world. You know what he did? Yes. Sending an army of bots to harass me was probably fun. And what's most important, it was a win-win situation. They spawn here and there, simple bits of code that are effortless to run. No wonder the algorithm assigns that pattern more often than the others from the list. Text and video generators get to work at the same time. My name surfaces on the web more and more. It's unbearable. Unbearable. From around every corner, every balcony, ceiling, attic, wall, I always feel many pairs of watchful eyes directed at me. And now they watch me from their screens too. But I put an end to it. I've decided a long time ago, though maybe I only decided that only my body finally crashes into the ground, smashing into millions of tiny pieces like porcelain. It's my second death for today already. So we got second death. I'm cold. Let's go back inside. Okay, and the rest will play out the same. The rest plays out exactly the same. We got all the achievements. I want to look up something really quickly, though. So we looked up second death, right? Second death. Here, I'm going to hide this screen for a second. Boop. We're going to go to BRB. Here, I'll put this on. So we look up second death. Someone snooped in the files and found something. There's a folder. Huh. Let's see, what is this file? Images, sprites, arm crossed, smile, smile funny. Let's check this out. What are you talking about? I got every achievement. Sneaky. We showed everything. I mean, there are going to be random things that play that are different. Okay, Oops, I don't want to go to the community hub. I want to manage. Let's go to properties. Let's browse local files. Browse. Where was it? Where was this image? What did it say? It said it was in... If you extract the game files. Images, sprites, arm crossed. Can we find that? Huh. I'm not sure. Okay. Weird. So some people think it's a rare RNG scene. Okay, well, I'm not sure. Let's see if someone uploaded this. Oh, okay. So here's the image that they're talking about. The image that they're talking about is this. What the hell is that? Okay, close ads like that. Yeesh. So, the image that they were talking about was this. This is an image called smile dot. It's like smile.png or something, which is an image contained in the game that isn't shown anywhere. So I'm not sure. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna quit out of this game real fast. Then we're gonna start up a different game. Thanks for joining me on that game. That was, I'm really happy that I played through that one. I'm amazed at how much more was in it compared to the first game. Okay. I will be right back. See you guys in a second. Okay, time for me to play something that I've never played before. I never thought I would play. I don't want to go to video producer. Creator dashboard. Okay. Let's edit some stream info. There we go. I'm just gonna write, oh no. Oh no. That's gonna be our title. Done. Perfect. Let's go. Bam. Bam. Bam.